It's up to you, really. I mean, we don't need to show the examples. You can send me some links afterwards so we can add them to the
Yeah, and
presentation.
I mean, and if it gets into it, we get into a deep discussion. It makes it easier. It's not hard to share a screen on
Yeah.
the
Okay.
new
If you can share the screen,
the
that's
new
perfect.
Skype. It's real easy to share a screen.
Says published.
Cool. Okay, so it says we're live. All right. So it's your hello, Rick.
Hello, sir.
This is amazing. You're the first one to be an instructor on our masterclasses from far away. So we have you as a guest here next to me through Skype, and everybody watching right now. I know there is a little bit of delay, so there's not going to be any people online at the moment as I'm talking, but I'm going to start seeing who is online in a bit. So everybody, hello. Thanks for being here. And today we have with us Rick Barker. Well, you know who Rick Barker is. We don't need to say too much, but I'm just going to mention a few names like Taylor Swift, her former manager, the Idol, right? You were a social media
Trent Harmon.
guru.
Yeah, currently
You were
working
a
with Trent.
you were a mentor, and anything else that you would like as a highlight? You know, there's too many of them. What is your favorite one?
No, the fun part now, yeah, the fun part now is that I'm actually managing the last American Idol winner, Trent Harmon. And a little later on, off topic, because I know we're going to talk about engagement, him and I just went through a very interesting situation with the contracts that he was under and how we got him out. You know, we were one of the first people to ever get to walk away and then re-sign with another label. It's a very educational experience that I'll share at the very end. So if you guys stick around to the very end, I'll share with you what's been happening the last 9 months. Because I know a lot of you want to do these contests and things. So I'll explain to you what got us locked up, what allowed him to go from having a top 15 single to being without a label to now having to get out of a contract to fight back to the label. It's a real interesting story and one that's never been told. So you get an exclusive.
So let's do that. Let's do that. I see people start logging in. So I see the first 10 people already here. People in the chat are writing hi from Marta, from Eleni, from Deborah. Hello everybody. Just let me know first of all in the chat if you can hear everything alright, if the connection is good. Just make a comment about if everything looks alright. And I know there's a little bit delay, so we need to wait for it for a bit. Rick, too many interesting questions that have been submitted beforehand, so I have a lot of things to ask you.
We got 3 hours, dude. We can talk all you want.
Nice. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Okay, more people logging in. That's great. What time is it in over there?
10:02.
Right. Okay.
Central time.
Right. So you're in Nashville.
Yep.
Okay, and over here in London it's 4 p.m. Okay, it's all good. Good to hear and see you both. Nice and strong. Great. Perfect. All right. Okay, more people joining. Great. So let's get this started. So first of all, let me give a little bit of a structure to what everybody online and people watching also the recorded version, because some people told me they cannot make it right now. This is what you should be expecting today. First of all, 3 full hours with the amazing Rick Barker. You can ask anything. You already asked a lot of questions. We're going to address them all or almost all of them. But the main thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking all about social media. We're going to be talking about content. We're going to be talking about your own brand and voice. We're going to be talking about engagement, about the funnel, how you monetize all this attention you're getting on social media. And then eventually talking about social media as a platform, as platforms, how we can use them. So I'll mostly shut up and Rick is going to do the talking. So I'm your moderator here. I'll be checking out the questions. Any question you have, we'll try to address it. So please write stuff in the chat. Even if Rick is talking about something else, please write in the chat. We're going to come back to that. Okay, even more people. Great. Hello, Sarah. So we got mostly people from the States, but we got people from London, Manchester, the UK as well. That's great. Let's see. Don't be shy. Just write in the chat. This is your best way to talk directly to Rick, even if you have submitted a question in advance. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, Ira. Hello, Sarah. All right. So let's get started. The first question I want to ask you, Rick, is an important one. Is social media necessary?
It depends. If you want to have a career, if you want to reach an audience, People have to stop looking at it as a chore. You need to look at it. If you are the musician that you say you are, see, the problem is that most artists bullshit. What they'll say is, I want to change the world with my music. And then I'm like, great, well, the world's available to you through social media. Well, I don't have time to do social media. Okay, so then you don't want to change the world with your music because you're not willing to take it to the world. Most artists expect the world to find them. So what social media does is, I call it, it's your customer service portal of your business. It allows you on a daily basis to share your thoughts, communicate, engage, and be with the world. You know, right now, when you wake up in the morning, you know, I tell everyone, I said, with this little digit here that you keep in your pocket, your purse, your hand, you are your own media mogul. You have your own television station, video recorder, photography, music studio, bank, PR firm, everything's right here in the palm of your hand. So the artists that are successful will utilize social media as the tool that it is. The artists that aren't successful and are going to make excuses that, you know, nobody liked their stuff and the label, you know, the people that blame other people don't do social media. The people who want to change the world will get involved with social media. It's not as hard as you think it is. You know, it's amazing. People will complain. They'll go, well, I don't understand it. Well, you know what? I don't understand exactly how my car's built either, but I drive it. You know, I make sure it gets me from point A to point B. I don't need to understand how everything in the engine works. I just know that if I get in it, it will get me to where I want to go. That's the same way you need to look at social media.
Right. Perfect.
Maybe we should change the name of it, Tommy, because maybe it's just been around. It's like internet marketing. I'm getting rid of that. I'm not talking about that anymore because it's what we have to do every day, but it's got such a bad, you know, internet marketing. Get over it. You know, it's like, so maybe we're time to start a new thing like you did with Musicpreneur.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. So I get the sentiment that most of our artists that are in touch with us, they feel overwhelmed with social media. A very common question is, how do I keep up with all these new features? How do I choose which platform to use? Right?
And let me start by saying this. I'm not here to sell anything, okay? You guys have already purchased this program. I'm not here to sell anything, but that's why I built Social Media for Music, so I can keep up with all the changes, and you don't have to. You know, it's like, I don't even know how you guys remember all the frickin' chords and lyrics to a gosh darn song. I can't do that. That's not my skill set. I mean, even when I'm singing along to songs I think I know, I'm making up half the words in the damn song. So my skill set is not the skill set that you have. So if that's not your skill set, you need to get yourself in a position to where someone else can help you do it. So the thing, I mean, by the time we get done with this masterclass today, Instagram will probably have added a new feature. Yeah. Probably 4 more different social media platforms will have started. I mean, there's so much stuff that goes on, so consistent. So that's one of the things that I do is for myself is go ahead and sign up. If you don't want to get courses or have people update you, what I suggest you do is sign up for Product Hunt Daily, Digital Music News, places like that they'll always update you on some of the latest changes that are happening. Also, see if the particular platform itself has a blog, which Twitter has a blog and Facebook has a blog, and they'll usually update you. And if you're bored out of your mind, which I know you guys have all this extra time on your hands, you could just go to Google and type on changes in Facebook for 2018 and see what pops up and learn it. But back to the question that should have been asked is, how do I best use my time for social media? Is what I tell people is treat it like your meal plan. Give your fans something for breakfast, give them something for lunch, and give them something for dinner. And the places in there where you're either in the car driving or on the loo or the toilet or whatever, comment and don't say you don't take your phones to the bathroom, because you guys would all be lying to me, because I know you do.
We all do.
Utilize your time wisely, you know? And in America, we're doing a lot of Ubering right now. If you're in LA, You're in traffic a lot. If you're Ubering, use that time to retweet, see what's going on out there. What's great about Facebook and Twitter is that you can schedule posts, so you physically don't have to do it. Unfortunately, Instagram doesn't allow that yet, but pop yourself a couple times up on Instagram, but just treat it. And if you don't have time for it, be okay with music being a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. But if you say to us, I'm investing in Whiise, I'm investing in Rick's programs, I'm investing in these other programs, then you've got to shift your mindset, or you're just wasting money. And we don't need to just take your money. We want you're buying our knowledge and experience, but only you can use it and do it. So that's what I think attracted me and Tommy to each other about 4 years ago, was that there was this kind of no nonsense approach to say, look, stop whining, stop complaining. Oh, I don't have time for social media. Great, then stay at the job you currently have. It's cool. It doesn't matter to us, but if you come to us and say, hey, I want this, then we're going to say, great, here's the tools, here's how you use the tools, and now let's go get your music in front of as many people as possible.
Cool. Well, non-bullshit approach. That's exactly what Rick is. And I just posted your piece of advice. Take the phone with you when in the loo, and make sure you retweet.
Yes. Hashtag wash hands.
Yeah. True. So when it comes to platforms, is there a winning platform for you? Is there a place where everybody must be? What are your favorite platforms?
It's funny. I answered this question yesterday. I was so there's a new TV show that starts in January in Canada called The Launch, and Scott Borchetta, who I'm with at Big Machine Records, I was with at American Idol. They have this show, and it only airs in Canada this first time around. So there's a lot of would be wasted opportunity if he's just posting it on Twitter and posting it on Instagram. But someone asked me, I was working with each of the contestants yesterday, and I said, if I had to launch a brand new artist and I was only given the opportunity to have one social media platform, what would it be? For me, it would be Facebook. And the reason for that is that, one, Facebook doesn't limit the amount of time for your videos. Facebook remembers more things about me than I remember about me. I get a memory every day from Facebook, and I'm like, holy crap, I was there. Facebook has all these groups of people all over the world that can actually like what it is that I do. You can target really well. You can put a pixel, and this is a bunch of technical stuff you don't need to understand, but I'm just saying is that Facebook has the ability. It's the biggest. It's got the biggest reach. You can start groups. You can have different types of messaging chats. There's so many different things that you can do with Facebook. So everyone needs to be on Facebook. And also, depending on where you are in the country, the reason that I like Twitter so much is that Twitter is instant. It's the easiest to grow. It doesn't penalize you for links. So if you're wanting to drive people to someplace else, whether, later on, Tommy and I are going to talk about funnels and opt-ins and things like that. If you want to drive people to see your videos or your Patreon page or SoundCloud or Spotify, Twitter won't punish you for doing that. Facebook will. Facebook has ways for you to be able to play your music and stuff with inside the platform, and we'll explain that a little later on when we talk about it, go specific into platforms and tools. But Instagram is not link friendly. You get one link. It's in your bio. Instagram is a hashtag. So I'll hear people say things like, well, my audience is only on Instagram. Well, your audience is actually where you tell them to go to spend more time with you. So if you go on Instagram and do a video that says, hey guys, I'll be hosting a Q&A over on Facebook, click the link in the bio to come, and they'll go where you go. And I had this argument one time with a young little pop star named Austin Mahone and Jacob Whiteside. Both of them are huge online. They had the fangirls. They're like, my audience is younger. They won't go to Facebook. I said, no, they'll follow you. So what you do is you say, I can't have as long a conversation with you on Twitter. Come join me on Facebook. And the next thing you know, they ended up with, 1 million likes. And they were, doing the whole thing. So that's a very long way to say how much I love Facebook. But each platform has its own advantages and disadvantages. And in this discussion, we're going to talk about all of that too.
And obviously, every platform has also their own culture. For example, on Twitter, yeah, it's all about shorter conversations where you move this conversation along to another platform via email, on a personal level, on Facebook, maybe on LinkedIn as
Yes.
well. If you're on LinkedIn, probably you're not going to see any cat videos because it has nothing
No,
to do
you're
with the
not going to
culture.
see any cat videos. You're probably not going to be sharing music. I don't use LinkedIn yet as a strategy for music because you're dealing mostly there with the people at the labels and things like that. So it's a different kind of conversation. They're not your fans. So you can't go post on LinkedIn the same way you post on Instagram or Facebook, or they'll block you out. You know, it's like you get that reputation of being a stalker. So I don't use a LinkedIn strategy yet. I don't use a Pinterest strategy right now for music. You don't have to use them all. The problem is in the beginning, everybody signed up for all of them, and then nobody went on any of them. So imagine this: you show up to your Pinterest page and you haven't pinned anything for 4 months. That just tells me, well, this artist is either not in the business anymore, or they don't show up here. So why should I show up here? And why should I follow them here? They don't come here. Artists, your fans want to chase you. They want to go where they know you are, and that's why you need to find 3, 4. The ones that I promote are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm not a big Snap person, for me anyway. Snapchat, now that Instagram has stories and Facebook has stories, they're using all the great features. They have the facial features. They have everything. So I don't spend a lot of time there. It's hard enough to get my artists that I work with to show up at 1, much less to show up at 5. So why am I going to keep adding work to them if they're already complaining they can't get done what they've been trying to get done anyway with what I've already given them?
Great. So let's dive into the juice of the whole thing.
Okay.
Very popular question. What am I posting? What types of content are there, and what how do I get ideas about what I'm posting?
Sure. So I think the more you know about your audience, the easier it will be for you to post. So the key for social media is this: it's not about you, it's about them. So you have to get into their world, you have to get into their conversations. And when the opportunity presents itself, you're able to incorporate the fact that you are a musician. So right now, for example, Tommy, if I were to ask you, what is the thing that everyone is talking about this weekend? Let's talk in the now. What is everyone talking about this weekend? What would your answer be?
Christmassy stuff. I have no idea.
Actually, what's even bigger than Christmas this weekend is Star Wars. Okay.
Well, hopefully,
So
I was hoping that this is this masterclass that everybody's talking about, but probably not.
Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you can get in on the conversation. If you haven't watched a Star Wars movie in 20 years, you can get in on the conversation. That's what everyone's talking about right now. The holidays is what everyone's talking about right now. If you're in California, the fires is what everyone's talking about right now. You need to get into as many conversations as you can. What happens is most artists are guilty of this. Vote for me. Here's me. I'm playing a show. Look who I'm hanging out with. I. We hate our friends that just show up and talk about themselves all the time. Don't be that person. Don't be that artist. So the things that you should be posting about, here's kind of what I do. And this is what I encourage. In the morning, we talk about the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. So in the morning, people are just getting up. People are wanting to be motivated, encouraged, inspired. So that's why I do quotes usually in the morning. If you have a song that's very uplifting, you can take a lyric from your song and put it on a nice, beautiful image, and that be your morning post across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't be afraid to post the same thing across all of your platforms. But remember, they all speak different languages. A hashtag that's on an Instagram page is not the same hashtag that's on a Facebook page. So make sure that you take the time to repost them organically to those various platforms. In the afternoon, people are starting to look at the clock a little bit, especially if they work, waiting, hoping to get. That's where we like to give something kind of funny or humorous. If you're a funny or humorous artist, do something funny or humorous. Make fun of yourself. Do it in video form. People hear with their eyes. Go find something funny. Go create your own GIF. They do really well. Do a boomerang, do something that just kind of gets people's attention, that makes them smile a little bit. And then maybe tease something you're doing that night. Like tonight, I'm hosting a Facebook Live, and it's an all request hour. Go ahead and get your request in now, where they can start, give them a little bit of feedback. Because here's what happens when you do that too, and you ask a question, is that Facebook or Twitter will let more people see it if there's some engagement. Because yesterday I was working with this young band, and remind me, Tommy, explain works, this television show, what its benefits are and what its disadvantages are. But I was explaining to this kid when I asked him, I said, he's 19 in a rock band. Kid's brilliant. I came to the band because the shows haven't aired yet, and we can't let people know who won that episode. So, but they're brilliant. I'll just say that. Yeah, I go, what's he said to share my stuff with like my friends and the people that follow me. I said, okay. I said, actually, it's to sell advertising. That's what Facebook's job is. That's why Facebook says, look, Tommy Darker was on Amazon.com looking at these cool derby hats, and we know he's going to buy one for Christmas. So we're going to retarget him because we know that he wants these derby hats. So we need him to stay on Facebook as long as he can in order to buy that hat. So they're going to make sure that when Tommy's in his feed, that they're not sending him a bunch of stuff that doesn't impress Tommy, because then Tommy's going to go someplace else. So their job is to make sure. That's why right now, honestly, folks, you are seeing more sponsored ads than you are on Facebook, because these people are paying a pretty penny message in front of you. So that means every time you see a sponsored ad, it meant one of the people that you follow did not get that position. That's exactly what that means. By the way, right now, musicians, do not try to run any Facebook ads till after the holidays, because you're competing against the biggest companies in the world, and your clicks will be expensive, like real expensive. Right now, I'm in an email strategy. I am not going anywhere near trying to, my folks are like, we should run Facebook ads for your new program in January. I'm like, I'll be broke. It's like, now I'm focusing on my email right now, Facebook Lives, do those kind of things. So you've got to really make sure that when you're having these conversations with people, whenever they comment, go in and like it. Thank you, an emoji, fist pumps, something to know the algorithm. There's programs now that will let you, because here's what happened, and guys, those of you who know me know this, I tend to go all over the place. So Tom back, but things just pop up into my head, and then one of the things that's super now is that Facebook has realized that a live video, people will stay on the platform 10 times longer if there's live videos. They have respect that so much that they're now even allowing you to post pre-recorded videos as live videos, because when the word that says Rick Barker is live shows up, people freak out. So, for example, we had a Trent Harmon, the Idol contestant that I manage. He shot this beautiful video. We were at an event. I had my guy go and put captions on it. It was 3 minutes and 45 seconds. There is a program, and Tommy typed this in. It's called Ecamm, E-C-A-M. So Ecamm allowed me the opportunity. It's like $29 American, lifetime. It's from the same that allows us to record these calls. You're able to drag the movie page, push play on the movie. it will go up, so you'll get all the same algorithms that go live. So what I started doing is you could go on, let's say you just shot this great music video that you're very excited about. You could go on, Ecamm would talk to you. Hey guys, I'm so excited. You know, we went into the mountains of Colorado and we shot this video. And first, let me tell you a little bit about the song. So while you're talking, Facebook's saying, holy crap, they're live. Let's go generate this audience. Now, if you're new to the Facebook Live situation, do not sit there and look in the camera going, okay, let me wait till some people come on. Because most of your plays are going to come on the replay, and they are already there. So you need to start immediately having a conversation. Don't ask questions, because then you're sitting there waiting for answers. But just come in and start telling the story like you're a news reporter, and they're like, and let's go to Tommy on the scene. Tommy just starts talking. That's kind of the way you need to do it too. So for example, was in Denver, got a chance to go to a buddy of mine's farm to shoot this video. Matter of fact, let me tell you a little bit about the song, and I want to share it with you now. Then you hit play, the video plays, then you come back on afterwards and you talk with your fans about the video that you just saw. And then when you save that, you're able to go in the next day and click share. And it will pop it right to the top of your feed, and Facebook will go drop that in people's that didn't see it. So what they're not going to do is go show it to Tommy again if Tommy already engaged with it. They're going to say, Tommy has already seen this. See, Facebook's smarter than we are. So let's use their ability to want to sell Tommy advertising by we post all the time. I call it recycling your winners. People will say, well, if you look at my Facebook page, you can see all the same thing. But here's what you have to ask yourself. We usually don't go to other people's Facebook pages. We scroll down our feed. So we're doing everything we can every day to show up in that feed, and that means popping it up. You can even just type something simple like, in case you missed it, had a great opportunity to show you this new video. Check it out. But you've got to get into that live situation. I was with one of the other contestants yesterday, and it's sad, the Canadians, and I'll tell you why. And if you're on here and you're Canadian, you know exactly what I'm going to say. You guys rely so much on your grant money, and you're all about your art. And it's like, you just think that because you created it, people are magically going to find it, and that's usually not the case. And some artists that I work with want everything to be so perfect that nothing ever happens. Well, I couldn't go Facebook Live today because I couldn't get my makeup person over to do my makeup. Who gives a crap about your makeup? The most popular people on the internet right now are the daily vloggers that walk around with their camera with no lights, no makeup, no nothing, sharing their lives. It's not musicians. You have been bypassed by some goofball out of Ohio that shares his family with us every day. So learn from those people that are doing that. But Facebook Live is the absolute game changer. It's like having your own television station every single day.
Rick, let me take a step back because you're telling amazing things. You're sharing amazing information. I have too many questions to ask that have been submitted by the people that are here today. So now what you touched upon, first of all, later we're going to talk about your artist that made more than 70.
Yeah, Dawn Meyer. She's not my artist, but she's somebody who I helped create a program.
Right.
I found her online.
Okay, and she made more than 70.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
They can go to my website and watch that video too. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on things that they can go get for free to watch, but we'll touch on it, give them the reason why, and then they can go watch it, because I would rather answer their question.
Perfect. So the question is, most people don't have the time to post something new every day. You know, we're talking about consistent content creation. So
no, they do have the time. They do have the time. No one on this call is busier than me. I'm telling you that right now. No one on this masterclass is busier than me. That's an excuse. Ask for a refund of your money and leave. You do have time to post every day. You just are lazy. You have time. There's a lot of BS that goes on in people's day, every single day. When an artist tells me that, I tell them to quit because they're never going to make it in this business because they got petty little BS excuses. You do have time. If you have time to use the bathroom, like I told you earlier, you have time to post. If you have an hour on Thursday because you know you're going to be out of pocket on Friday than you schedule on your Thursday. You're just not disciplined enough to do the things that you're supposed to do for your business. So that's an excuse. That's not a question. Next question.
Right. So how do people approach content creation then? You know, if we're talking about the moment, about something instant, something not perfect, what is the mindset behind posting all these moments, the live moments?
If you walk around, okay, if you see something, post it, save it in your phone. I call it the content bank. I create stuff all the time. Once again, stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. That's what's happening right now. If you see something that makes you laugh, write down why it made you laugh. Go on Facebook and say, oh my gosh, I just saw this accident and my heart is pounding right now. And tell the story of what happened. Here's the thing, folks. Jesus Christ, whether you're religious or not, made a living out of telling stories, and he's still the most popular dude around, and he's been dead for a long freaking time. Start telling stories. That's your content. That's the piece. It's like when we sit down, the thing too is that one of the number one things, Tommy, is that people don't treat it like a business. Okay? I just can't go into a sandwich shop and think the sandwiches are going to make themselves if I own it. And I just can't flip on the light and think people are going to show up. I have to have a plan. And with that plan, when we sit down right now, and like I said, here's the thing. If you don't, if your mind says you don't have the time to do this, you don't need Tommy Darker or Rick Barker. You need a fucking therapist. You know, you need to get out of your own head that if this is what you want to do. Most of you, what you say and your actions are two different things right now. Completely two different things. So what I sit down and do right now is that I hired a guy, pay him $500 a week, and all he does is shoot video of me. And all he does is take everything that I do, and he makes a 30-second version of it. He makes a 1-minute long version of it, and he makes as long as the heck he wants to version out of it because Facebook lets us have that time. Instagram's only given us a minute. YouTube will give you 2 minutes and I think 20 seconds. You know, so we create the different content and we load it up. And then we figure it's like you could go right now. Hell, if you don't have stuff to post, reshare all my stuff. It's fantastic, and you'll get credit for it. Go repost Tommy's stuff. You know, go find, if you know what your audience is into and you're reposting stuff that's relevant to them, they're going to appreciate it. If you know what books they're reading, what movies they're talking about, what other concerts they're going to. If you're walking through the mall and you see a sale going on at Forever 21 and you have an audience of young girls, take a picture, a selfie of yourself in front of the 20% off thing and say, hey, just wanted you to know about this, and tag Forever 21 in it. And then it gets even a bigger reach. It's just you. The people who ask these questions are the people that don't know, that need to buy our stuff. And now I am selling. If you ask dumb questions, you need to invest in somebody to help you get smarter answers, because you will not find them yourself. And they're just not magically sitting out there. It's like, I want to read you this email that I got this morning. And this is the kind of stuff that pisses me off. So this guy, he signed up for my free ebook. So he's watching my book. Now, Tommy, keep in mind, this last month, I gave away all my programs. Gave them away.
I know.
Over almost $900 worth of stuff. I gave them away to everybody. I gave people an opportunity to come into my masterclass that are on my list. I'm selling it in January for $2,000. I gave them an opportunity to get access to it and be a beta tester for $250. This guy hasn't done any of that, but he has the balls to send me an email this morning. Hold on, I'm 50 years old, so I have to put my glasses on. I just don't wear them to look pretty like Tommy. I actually have to do this stuff.
I cannot even see your face.
I'm reaching out for one last piece of advice. So this guy sends me all these legal questions, and I said, one, I don't answer legal questions. Go to an entertainment attorney. You know, one, he's not a client, hasn't spent a dime with me, and I know that. So he goes, looks like we got the right to the next release for Jenny, and one of the majors is very interested and want to talk with us in January. I found a great music lawyer, but I'm looking for some personal advice, not just legal advice, which in my business are two very different things. If you have time, I know you are busy, what 3 things must be in a contract, in your opinion? What 3 things would you ensure do not get get in a contract, and your opinions, any insights would be welcome. I said, hey, Steve, just curious, which of my programs have you purchased? I cannot seem to find your email associated with any. It's like, if this son of a gun wants my advice and wants my opinion, then show me a little bit of support. If I'm going to invest in you, I want people to invest back. But what it shows me is, one, whoever this Jenny is doesn't have major labels interested in her. He's trying to get it. So don't be that artist, folks. You know what I mean? It's like, we put so much great content out there for you to consume for free. We do Facebook Lives that you can come on for free. Don't send us emails and ask us to take the time away from our clients who are paying us and our families who are entitled to the extra free time that we do get to answer your questions if you're not willing to invest in us. We are willing to invest in you if you're willing to invest in us. Now, the reason that I say that is this. Stop asking your fans to do all these things for you, and then you don't comment on their photos, or you don't share their posts, or you don't thank them. It's just like this email right here. You're just showing up when you need shit. Don't be that person. We don't like it. Neither do your fans. So if you're just showing up when there's something going on in your life, or it looks like there's something you need, your fans are not going to stick around for you. Then you're going to go, wow, nobody ever shares my post. Well, when's the last time you shared somebody's post? Wow, nobody's really commenting on my stuff. Great. When's the last time you commented on anyone's stuff? Hey, no one really seems to engage with me. Great. When's the last time you went and engaged with someone? So I use that as an example to say that's what pisses me off, is when people just show up and ask for things and expect, but they don't buy anything. That's the same thing. How often do you get upset when the fans don't buy your records? You're like, gosh, I keep giving, why won't you? That's the same way we get too. We're no different. So use human nature and incorporate that into your business.
Right, and what I wrote in the chat as a way to sum all this wisdom you just shared is that social media is simply conversational. If you engage with others and add value to their lives, they will do that back. Because
well, one of the things too, and you said a lot of people on here were from the United States. Like right now, The Voice is on, and it occupies 2 nights a week. During the live show, there's a hashtag, and people are in there communicating. Go in there and start talking about what you're seeing on the show. Go follow all those people, because they have shown, I will follow unsigned artists. I want to support unsigned artists. Go get in the conversation. Don't go in and say, hey, it's Rick, and I'm a singer, and you should go look at my YouTube page, and here's a link. Say, oh my God, I just love what Tommy sang. You know, oh, Linda was awesome. Matter of fact, I sang that song last week. Oh, you're a singer? Well, yes, I am a singer. Now they're asking you questions. Now you're in the conversation. Most of you just show up and go, hey, look at me. Woohoo! Look at me. I spent all this money on a record. You should buy it. I know you don't know me, but you should buy it anyway. It's too noisy out there, people. There's no shortage of talented and beautiful people who can sing. There's no shortage of talented, ugly people who can sing. You know, talent isn't it right now, if you haven't realized that. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, there's better singers, dancers, rappers, but there ain't nobody working harder than them, and that's why they're superstars. That's the difference between an artist and a superstar, is work ethic and taking advantage of the timing and the luck that was presented to them, because there's a lot of that involved too, and it's not duplicatable, which is unfortunate, but they were prepared to take advantage of whatever opportunities came their way. That's what you need.
Right. So what you're saying is that we live in an era where it's all about the real time. It's about the conversation that is happening right now and people jumping on board.
Well, think about this, Tommy. If the people watching this are songwriters, and you turn on the TV and you see that there was an explosion in France, why are you going to write that song 2 months from now? When people are talking about it, is right now. If you're a songwriter, write how you're feeling right now, because other people are feeling that way, and use social media to get it out there. That's how things go viral. Things usually don't go viral that happened 3 months ago. Things that go viral are things that happen right now. So every day you should be writing your record right now. There's nothing more relevant than what's happening in real time. So don't sit on this. That's why I love rap. Rap is instant. They see something that goes on and they just start flowing, man. I mean, it is like legit. But right now, every day, practice your songwriting skills. Here's your homework, folks. Go look on the news, see what's out there. If it made you laugh, write what made you laugh. Write a happy song. If it made you cry, write a sad song. If it made you think, write a thinking song. And put it out there and tell people why you wrote it and let them know, because that's what everybody's talking about right now. Go see what's trending. That should be your song every day. It's called What's Trending. And just write your damn song.
Great, great. You know, and that ties up well with the YouTube masterclass we're having tomorrow, because we're going to talk about how you appear to more people, how you rank higher, how you use what's trending to get more views. So let's take a step back and talking about consistency in engagement. This is something else that people say, that they don't have enough time to engage with others. They might have time to post, but what about engaging with other people? How do you do that consistently?
Tommy, ask them to tell me what it is that they're doing every day. I want to hear from them. What are they doing every day in their life that doesn't allow them to say the words thank you, which, by the way, took half a second. So I would love to know if they can respond back. Tell me what's stopping you. Not just, I don't have time. I don't have time because. And I want to hear some of their responses.
Right, so I'm asking now, there's going to be a little bit delay, so let's continue and I'll let you know.
So we'll talk about that, but basically I want real examples. I want real examples of this, is because then we can fix them and help them. I want this to be, and we won't say their names, that you guys may see their names. I don't see anything. All I see is Tommy. I don't see the chat. I don't know what's going on in the chat. But I would love to see what, and I'm going to call them, for lack of a better word, what excuses are holding you back from engaging every day. Because right now, my team and see, that's the thing. Hear what I said? My team. At some point, you guys might have to start investing in a virtual assistant that can follow for you. They're like $4 an hour. You know, I had a girl reach back out to me that was doing transcriptions. Right now, I'm transcribing everything that's in my masterclass. It costs me 10 cents a minute. And then I give it to Catherine and Maddie, and they go make sure the grammar's correct. There's sometimes you have to invest in yourself, but you guys want all this shit for free. You know, you want everybody, you don't have time, but you don't have money to pay for it, but you want it all to happen. So what you got to do is, if you don't have the resources to spend right now, you need to sit down. This is a great time to do it. For the first of the year, say, look, if you can't put an hour a day into the customer service side of your business, this is the wrong business for you. I'm about to save you a lot of money. Stop chasing something that you're not going to succeed in because you keep making excuses on why you can't do it. You need to say what I can do. I can guarantee you, because it happened to me. I can find an extra hour in every day that I'm wasting my time scrolling through the internet, clicking on whatever. And there's no one that can't find an hour a day, period. Hey, Donald Trump has time to fucking tweet, you know, and he's running the goddamn country, you know, so don't tell me you're busier than the president. And he tweets 5 to 10 times a day sometimes. So come on, people, think about it. You're just making excuses.
Well,
think about it. The president can tweet every day.
Okay, so here's something popular. People answering your question. So people say that it's not that they don't have time, actually. It's that some people mention the word boring. They don't believe that there is something worth talking about their own lives every day. So what should they post?
Don't talk about your own lives. Talk about the stuff other people are talking about. That's the thing. That's the mindset. It's not about you. It's about them. If you're boring, do I want to follow you? No. You know what I mean? This business isn't for everyone. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. So what you need to do, that's what I mean by go get in the conversations. You don't have to lead the conversation. That's something completely different. People like me, I can lead a conversation. I can go get in on a conversation. And you may or may not ever get there. You have to focus on what your strengths are. If you're a very observant person, you know, also too, is think about this. You don't necessarily have to speak just yet. Yes, I'm saying Facebook Live is a very valuable tool. If you're not comfortable, don't go on and make a fool out of yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying find a way. Go, if you're better and if you need to have an edited video because that's how you feel best, you have the tools to play that edited video that's perfect as a Facebook Live. It may or may not get as much of engagement as the other, but it will get more than it would had it just been a video. So what you guys want to do, God, none of you are as boring as you think you are. If I could just sit with you in a room, I could pick the things. That's one of my strengths, is to sit there and say, okay, let's find out what you do best. What's your thing? Trust me, if you have a dry sense of humor, that's funny to people like me. Show your dry sense of humor on topics that people are talking about, and they'll go, oh my God, did you see that guy? He is hysterical. He's got the driest sense of humor on everything, and we love him. You've got to find your superpower. Find your superpower, and if you don't have your superpower just yet, then invest in finding your superpower. Maybe you need to hire someone 1 day a week for 2 hours. It'll cost you $20 to get them to schedule all your posts. Maybe you hire somebody for 2 hours and you teach them. You give them access to courses and say, learn this course. I'm going to pay you to learn this course because I don't have time to do it. And I need, sometimes you just need to ask for help. Go follow people. One of the things we did early on is go follow MaddieNewton.com. Go follow anybody. And when they post, just retweet their post. When they share, until you get comfortable doing it, just retweet other people's things. Let people get to see your name and your hashtag. And when they come to your Twitter page or your Instagram page or your Facebook page, make sure it's set up properly to send them to your best piece of music or your best video until you get comfortable doing the other things. It's like, it's just, sometimes it's like, here's the thing. I could go out today and I could throw 100 perfect football passes. No matter how good they are, people could come up to me, oh my God, Rick, you threw 100 perfect football passes. Doesn't mean I'm ready to go play in the NFL. Okay, so you may write cool songs. You may sing great songs. May not mean you're ready to compete though. This is a competition. We are competing for people's attention. Once we get their attention, then we're competing for their engagement. Once we've got their engagement, then we're going to compete for their dollars. It's like we're not out originally competing for their dollars because they don't know us yet. We've just got to get their attention. So if you're not putting yourself out there, you will not get noticed. They will not find you unless you're doing a sex tape. So if that's the route you want to go, you could get famous, could marry a rapper, could get your own fragrance. But if you're wanting to get noticed for your music, you're going to have to drop it in front of them. So that's what we're trying to tell you is there's these tools that are free. Your time, you control. If somebody else controls your time, they don't control your time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's illegal. That's called slavery. And we outlawed that a long time ago. So stop making excuses and let's start making better decisions with our time. Let's start making better decisions. Everything that I know technically, you can go learn for free online if you've got, but you're just telling me you don't have the time. That's why you buy programs, people. Let me tell you, why do I buy coaching? Because my time's valuable. Fast pace, the process for me, I'm all in. Why? Because I put a value on my time. I put a value on my hour. If I make $500 an hour doing a consultation, I'm not going to spend an hour that I can pay somebody $250 for to get my work done. You see what I'm saying? You need to start putting a value on your hour. I'm just using an example of my monetization, not anybody else's, So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right, okay, and we're
Are we getting any thumbs up? Are we getting middle finger emojis? What are we getting right
No,
now?
we're getting a lot of ha-ha-has, a lot of that's a no bullshit approach, and that's a straight shooter. So there is a lot of comments about this, and so we're gonna take a break in 10 minutes. So there's a lot of information to digest. But before we do that, let's quickly.
10-minute break. When you go to the bathroom, tweet something out. Start
tweet
training
something,
yourself.
tweet something about that, and already posted a hashtag. So let's talk a little bit about live content, about this case study on Facebook Live. So can you tell us a little bit about it, so then
Yes.
people can go and
So,
check the video online?
so what happened was that somebody had sent me an email that said, "Hey, is this girl one of your students?" And they sent me a link. Her name's Dawn Beyer, DAWNBEYER. She goes by the real Nashville. That's a whole other story. You can find out in a free video. So what I did was I saw this girl going live, and she had a PayPal.me, and she called it a virtual tip jar. And I'm like, this is freaking brilliant. She's giving people an opportunity to send her money right away. So as I'm watching her, I see she's doing a lot of things right. There's some things that I think she could do better. I reach out to her on Facebook. She ignores me. I reach out a month later. She still ignores me. And then one day I was on one of my rants that obviously you guys can see I get a little passionate sometimes. It happened to go out on my personal Facebook page. I pushed the wrong button. So I'm on my personal Facebook page talking a bunch of smack, just really going off on something. And I had told her in the Facebook message, I said, look, I'm legit. I'm a badass. I can help you. We would be great together. And then all of a sudden I see this person pop up. She's like, dude, I love your energy. You are a badass. Let's talk. So I helped to put this program together. But the question that I asked her, I said, just out of curiosity, because I had my own thoughts just by watching the consistency. She was showing up every day, doing 2 or 3 of these little 35, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour-long Facebook Lives, having the tip jar, selling her hats, selling her CDs, selling her sweatshirts. In my mind, I felt that she was probably doing about $500 a week. And I said, if I can ask you a personal question, I said, how much money did you make with your Facebook Lives? And like most musicians, and like me, and I'll tell you my story later, she says, I don't know. It kind of just goes into the same pot. So I said, why don't you go find out? So she got off, she went, she did her own work, she came back, and I think she had done like 74,570. She came back to me with the exact number, which was funny. And I said, holy crap, you were making more than I thought you were making here. And we sat down, and I said, I just want to interview you. I want to find out what made this happen and what came from that. And this course is available, and we'll let people know where to go find it. But what happened was that she trained the audience. She didn't go on and beg. She didn't go on and ask, but she said things like, if you would love to keep me going live, there's a little virtual tip bucket up in the description. Put a little love in the bucket. She would say little things like that, and people started doing it. One day she's doing it, and her space heater went out. She goes, oh my God, it's freezing here. She goes, okay, here's today. All the love in the bucket's going to go to buy me a space heater. And they loaded up her bucket, and the next day she's got her space heater, and she's thanking them. But what she did is, while she's talking, she's mentioning their names. She's really making it personal. She's thanking them. It's just, if you could always err on the side of humble and gracious in life, you will never go wrong. Not just the music business, but in life. And that's what she was. They wanted to root for her. They wanted to get behind her. She would sell her T-shirts. They would buy it. She says, hey, I would love to be able to record my first album. I've never recorded an album. You guys come in and hear all my free songs. And she did that, and they paid for her album. And she would do Facebook Lives going while she was autographing. She would do Facebook Lives while she's packaging the stuff up. She would do Facebook Lives in the car on the way to the mailbox. She would do Facebook Lives and tell the post office person, said to let everybody know their stuff's coming. I mean, she just did it. She did it consistently, and she showed up every single day to work. You know, this may just be a part-time job for a lot of you right now. And even if it's just a 2-hour-a-week job right now, don't be frustrated when you get 2-hour-a-week results. You can't have full-time results doing part-time work. And that's where I think a lot of this comes into play sometimes, is that people start comparing themselves to where other people are right now. No, you can't. You are where you are. It's your business. You don't know the financial situation this other person might be in that could be better than yours. You may not know that this person has 10 people working for them, helping them do all those things. So you cannot, and it's hard to do. It really is. You just cannot judge where you are right now based on somebody else unless you're in the same exact room, get the same exact hours, have the same exact budget. Be happy that you did. If you didn't do any posts this week, be happy you did one. When I started working out with my trainer, Ollie, who's actually from London, and I have an accountability coach because I make excuses on why I can't eat right, and I make excuses on why I can't get to the gym. And now with WhatsApp, I have to show him my food, and every time I walk in the gym, and if I don't, he charges me more money, and he just takes it right out of my account. You know, that's the deal we have. I pay him $1,000 a month to hold me accountable, and it could end up costing me $3,000 if I'm lazy, and I ain't letting that happen. I've never had to pay him extra, so what am I doing? But what he did and what he said to me, Tommy, and we'll end with this, is he said, Rick, let's start. Can you give me 10 minutes today? I said, sure. And then he says, can you give me 10 minutes 2 times a day? I said, sure. Then next week he says, he didn't add a day. He added a little time. Can you give me 20? Yeah, I can give you 20. Can we maybe add an extra day? Sure. Now, all of a sudden, I found in my day the ability to get to Orange Theory 4 days a week. When I get done with this, I'll go down to the gym to attempt to run a mile for the first time in a long time. I now look forward to it. Right now, it seems so overwhelming to you, but once you get yourself, don't commit to, I'm going to do something every day for 5 days. Let's just start with 1 day. Okay? I know with your program, you have that accountability group and setting the right goals. The problem is sometimes you guys set your goals so freaking high. You need to have little micro victories. You need to have that win. It's like, I did 5 tweets this week. Holy shit, that's 5 more than you did last week. Congratulations. I don't care that you didn't do 50 like you could. I care that you're making progress. I care that you're moving, because when we set our goals so high and we don't hit it, every day we didn't hit that goal, we failed. And that starts to weigh on you. You need to have hourly goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and they'll get you to the top of the mountain. And that's what I needed to learn. I needed to learn that, let me get through today. You know, it's like, let's just get through today. Let's say that today we're going to find, our goal today is to find something interesting to share in a Facebook Live. Even if you're walking, talking, even if you're just saying, don't go on, let me say this though. Don't go on your first Facebook Live and do a Q&A, because somebody might not show up just yet. Facebook may not open it up to you. You don't control that yet. I would just go walk and talk and share your thoughts. You know, hey, just wanted to take you on a walk right now. Hey, in the comments below, let me know how your day's going. Send me a picture of where you're at today. I would love to see it, love to share it with my fans. Have a great day. Do it for 5 minutes. A 5-minute conversation. Not asking questions, just telling me a little bit about you. How are you feeling today can go a long way. And when we come back from the break, I will do a quick little Facebook Live doing just that to show you exactly, even though I'm going to have people, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to do it. You can follow along and see how it looks on your Facebook page. But let's roll up our sleeves and let's start giving you some tools and some actionable items. I mean, I can preach all day. I would rather not do that. I would rather take the phone and show you exactly what's happening and how to do it, and make all of you do it yourselves. Pick up your phone and let everybody know you're on the Whiise conference and what you're doing. You know, people will crack, you'll be surprised. People will crack up, you know, they really will.
So that's great. You know, we're going to do this definitely after the break, and I'm checking the chat because a lot of people empathize with that. They feel that they're getting inspired, and they feel that they're not doing enough at the moment. So I guess there is some positive effect here. But there is an interesting comment by Ethan, and also something similar by Emily, and they're saying that how do you respond? How should you think about it when people don't respond to you, when you're being ignored? Because it's hard for yourself.
Here's exactly, and that is a great question, both of you guys. Here's the thing. They're not ignoring you. Facebook has said, listen, you're just now starting. So you're ignored if you ask a question and nobody answers. You're not ignored if you just share your feelings. And then let's say that Facebook says, okay, Rick hasn't showed up to Facebook in a week. This is the first Facebook Live that he's ever done. Obviously, we're not going to let everybody who's liked his page see it right now. It may reach 200 people. Out of that 200 people, maybe 2 people like it. But let's say I felt it was pretty good. I just know, see, because I know the back end, I know it had nothing to do with the quality of my video. It had to do with Facebook's algorithm. So you know what? I'm going to share it again. I might get real cocky and share that thing every hour. Why not? Maybe it'll show up in somebody's feed. Maybe if I did it at 9 o'clock, but Tommy didn't get a chance to sneak away to do Facebook till noon, maybe I'll share it at noon so it might pop up on Tommy's feed. Then I might go in and share it again at 3, and then I might share it again at 6. The fact that people aren't responding just means we're not there yet. You know, it's just we're not quite there in our relationship. And I'll talk a little bit about females and the way that these creeper guys end up coming on your page, and why you're saying the only people that ever comment are creepy guys. Well, it's the females are afraid to comment because then their thumbnail shows up and these creepy guys can follow them. So you may have a lot of females that support what you do. You're just not hearing it from them because they don't want to put themselves out. So don't beat yourself up thinking that no one's responding. If your stuff's good, just keep sharing it. And then you can right click on the link of the Facebook Live. It will save the link. Go throw the link up on Twitter. Go save it as a movie. You know, there's so many different things you can do with it after that. But don't ask questions. That's the hard part, is if you ask questions and nobody answers, and then somebody else watches it, they're like, wow, this girl or guy may not be that popular because nobody's answering their questions. Share your thoughts. That's what I think could be a great start, is to share your thoughts.
Great. You know what? Tons of takeaways, tons of notes that we're keeping so we can share them with everybody later. So for now, we're going to take a break, but first, I would like to have the link of your page so we can see you.
RickBarker.com.
Right. So where are you going to go? Where are you going to go live? What's the Facebook page?
Oh, my Facebook page. So yeah, if
Facebook.com slash.
yeah, if you go to rickbarker.com, scroll down, you can follow me on all my socials. But it's like music industry. What happened is Rick Barker Music is my personal, but the one I'm going to go on my public figure page. So what I'll do, Tommy, is I will put it in the chat, in our Skype chat.
Yep.
Okay, so let me go here. Let me go to Facebook.
So Marta, actually, she just went live for the first time on Facebook, and she had a shout out. That's perfect.
Yep, I know Marta. I would be curious to how many people are on this thing.
So at the moment, so we had 19 people before that. Now it's 15 people.
That's a good Saturday.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good Saturday. So what I would be curious at some point to know how many of them even, because a lot of them may already follow me, so they know my craziness, but I'd be curious to know how many are experiencing me for the first time. Here's the new chat button.
Cool. So now for everybody else, we're gonna mute the sound. We're gonna go for a quick break, 10 minutes maximum. In 10 minutes, we're back. I'm gonna share the link with where Rick is gonna go live, and then you can go live talking about Rick going live and this webinar. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Cool. So we're live. We're back. The sound is on, and please write in the chat if you can hear us alright. If everything is great. Now Rick is going to demonstrate how it's going to go live, and then he's going to ask you to do the same. And we've added a tool, a very useful tool, ecam.com, in the chat, so you can try that later as well. So, welcome back. So far, I know your brain is full of information because Rick is a thunder and he's sharing amazing stuff. And he's a very straightforward person, straight shooter, as Marta said, no bullshit. So, Rick is going to go live now on his Facebook page. Again, I've shared his Facebook page in the chat, so just go there. I'm going to share it again.
Hey guys, it's Rick. What's up? Woo! Here we are. Let me see. See my buddy Tommy in the back. I'm doing a masterclass today, the Whiise masterclass. 3 hours. Hour number 1 is done. And what we thought we would do is show them a couple different things on how to utilize Facebook Live. So the first thing that I want you to do, especially if you're on an iPhone, is down at the very bottom left, you're going to see a magic wand. Click on that magic wand. Go all the way to the right, and you're going to see a wrench and a screwdriver. Click on it, and I can do the horizontal flip, and now I'm not in London driving anymore. Now, if you're a right-handed guitar player, you're no longer left-handed. You're now legit. Diane's watching. What's up, Diane? Love this. I'm going to show you some of the cool new features that have gone on with Facebook Live. So if you are watching, Michael's here. What's up, Michael? I want to be able to show you some of the cool features that are available. So when you are new to Facebook Live, what I'm going to suggest is that you just walk and share your opinions. I used to do, if you remember, when I first got started, I did this thing called 25 Minutes from Nashville. Facebook Live wasn't available then. I want you to treat it like no one can respond to you. I want you to give something of value, whether it's your thoughts, whether it's your opinions. While we were doing this, I had a friend of mine sent me an email. And I'm from Santa Barbara. A lot of you guys know that. And right now there's massive fires. And in the last 2 hours, winds got up to 65 miles per hour. Hurricane winds are 75 miles per hour. So I have a lot of friends in a lot of areas right now that are really being affected by this. She's kind of been keeping me up to date. A lot of times when there's tragedy or things like this, we're watching the news and we're really understanding what's happening. So that's kind of what's going on in my mind right now. So one of the things that you're going to notice as now that people are starting to show up, you can slide to the bottom left and their little faces will show up. So right now there's Landon Wall. Landon Wall has a little video button that shows up, which means that Landon can now join me on this Facebook Live. So I'm going to click Landon and it says bring Landon on camera. Now, this is one of the coolest new features on Facebook Live because think about this. If you've got these super fans that are hanging out with you and all of a sudden you're able to bring them on. So, Brandon, I don't care if your hair's not great. I don't care about anything. I just need to bring you on. So I sent an invitation to Brandon. So those of you that are watching this in real time right now, Landon, is going to get an opportunity to pop on. So up top it says adding. To me, that's what it shows. So while this is happening, we can go on and we can look and write a comment. And I could just write, good morning from Nashville. Where are you located? Now, here's what you need to understand. Most people are going to watch this on the replay. So then later, what's going to happen is they're going to tell you where it is they're from. And then that's going to show the algorithms at Facebook, hey, people are starting to engage with this post. So then they're going to open the reach up to even more people. Then go back in after and start commenting. Pam's here. What's up? Okay, so no answer from Landon yet. Tommy's here. Ethan. Is Ethan Martin part of the group?
Yes, exactly.
He is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, where did Ethan go? I'm going to click on Ethan. Okay, Ethan isn't on a phone, so that's it. That won't work. Let's see. Marta. Marta's here. Marta's there. Pam's here. Ira. What's up, Ira? So it will show me who's able. Kelsey. is here. Pam's here. My buddy John, Coach Brew. Okay, this will be easier. So, when you slide and play with it, just go ahead and be able to do this. Now, here's what's cool about this is that the folks that are on my group, they know I'm always teaching, so this isn't weird to them. All right, what's up, dude? Good. You're sideways. What are you doing? You laying on a bed? There we are. Good. So how are things? Good? Doing really well. Hanging out with my buddy Tommy from London. We're doing a masterclass, and I'm showing people the new cool feature from Facebook, which allows you to interact one-on-one, and showing folks that how cool this would be. So you look like the Red Baron, like you got a fighter cap on, ready to fly the plane. Yeah. How cold is it? How cold is it where you're at? Okay. There you go. It's super cold. All right, man. Well, listen, it's always great seeing you. I appreciate you. All right, take care. All right, bye-bye. So it also shows you that there's 15 other people. You can go look and see who they are. Some of my buddy Ben Gans was on there. He's gone now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this Facebook Live, and I'm going to show you what I was demonstrating earlier about Ecamm, where you can get credit for a Facebook Live while sharing a recorded video. So for those of you that don't feel comfortable yet, you're afraid of making mistakes, I always tell people, everything we love about you artists, we hate about you artists. You're such perfectionists, and there are no perfect people. So stop. But if you're not quite there yet, if you and your therapist haven't removed that part of your brain and haven't showed you, I'm going to show you how you can share one of your videos. So I just recently did an interview with a young lady that I met on a plane. Her name's Lindsay Ray. And Lindsay and I for my new program, I came in and shot this video. So I'm going to show you how easy this program, Ecamm, and Tommy will give you the link, is to use, and how fast it works. So I'm going to finish this one, and then I'm going to immediately start another one right under it, so don't go anywhere. All right? Cool. All right, Pam, Kels, Kay, Dean, what's up, guys? Thank you. Bye. Okay, so that finishes. Now, when you get done with it, if you didn't like it, you don't have to post it. You can delete it. You've got that opportunity. But don't do them and delete them every day. At some point, you got to just get on that bike and ride it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it because it really doesn't make much sense. But you know what?
No, actually keep it.
Because some people may learn. Yes, sir.
Keep it so we can use it in the recording and post, part of the video.
Well, some people can learn from it too. So now I'm going to go to Ecamm, and I'm going to click Go Live. And here we are. What's up, folks? Here we are, the next version of the lesson. So this is Ecamm Live. So what I like about Ecamm is that it gives me the opportunity to do a couple different things. It will share this. I can add an image. I can add text. So let me do a new text overlay. And it's just going to say www.rickparker.com. I add it. It's now right there in the bottom. Okay, so now I was able to add an overlay. Now, this overlay is not clickable, but at least it sets people to a deal. So I told you guys earlier that I was going to share with you why I like Ecamm. Ecamm allows me to have a conversation with you, but it also allows me the opportunity to share pre-recorded video and get credit for it as a Facebook Live. For example, I just shot this great video with Lindsay Ray, and I'm going to share it with you now. So here are, once again, I'm super excited to introduce you to a friend. Her name's Lindsay Ray, and Lindsay and I met in a very weird way. This was one of the few times where I was blessed twice on an airline. One is that no one was sitting in the middle, and two, somebody who I could carry on a conversation with just happened to be the person that got seated with me, because I'm an A flyer, so I get on first, and then I just cross my fingers and pray, and I hope that you kind of came on late.
I did,
and
yeah.
I was there
But I like to sit towards the front of the plane. I don't know, there was something, you had a good aura.
Usually I think I don't have a good aura, because I sit there and people will walk by, and I'll be like,
and I was like, I'm going to see if I can sit here with this guy.
and then we started talking, and I'm like, how we got into conversation.
I think you mentioned the middle seat, and you said,
Okay.
And you said something about your global entry. Somehow that came up, and then I mentioned that I had just gotten that.
Yes.
From Canada, a lot for work.
And I mentioned I go to Canada,
I
and
said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a songwriter. You're like, I'm in the music business.
there we go. That's kind of how we So then,
We're done, which is
let me
okay.
go ahead and end the video real
And
quick.
you were going to see your sister, I think, right?
So I'm going to come back to me now. Video's still there in the background. Let's say that you just created a new t-shirt and you just dragged, I'm just going to drag a picture that just happens to be on my desk. Let me go here real quick. I'll make all my, let's say, here, I'll just drag this and say, hey, so I can come over here and I can say, cool, look at this new t-shirt that I just got. Share this with you guys. You guys can then say, hey, go in and click on the link. You can see everybody over here in the comments. Now, when we're done, if I want to get rid of this, I just go and it says clear all recent items, clear all the overlays. It's gone. I can go back to the movie. I can just do whatever I want. I mean, it's like, it gives you so many different options that you're able to do. And this is what I love about it. I'm getting all these cool little comments over here. Kyle's, Miranda's here, Kay. How do you spell the app name? ECAMN.com. Ecam. It was like $29. Super cool. I like it because you can go on a Facebook page. You can go in a group. You can do a lot of different things with it. If I go to the movie, I can go back to the video.
So here we are. Once again, I'm super excited.
Stop it. I can go back and continue to talk. You can have a discussion, all kinds of different things. So that's enough of the demonstrations. You guys have a fantastic remainder of your Saturday. I'm going to jump back over here to the masterclass. And if you're in California, praying for you. All right? Take care, kids. All right. Goodbye. See ya. Marta's like, okay, interesting with the delays. It's only delayed because I'm live with you guys over here, and it's coming across over here. There's only so much the internet can do for free. Damn them. All right, see ya. Bye. All right, finish. Hit save. This video is now to post on Rick Barker. View post, delete post, same thing. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and it's set. And then I just get out of Ecamm Live, and there we go. So I don't care about being perfect because people always look to me for a teaching moment. I teach more from my mistakes than I do my successes. Which is funny because I'll get on, I'll go, dude, you guys got to understand, I totally blew it yesterday. I can't wait to share it with you. You know, I don't get embarrassed anymore. You know, it's like, I always tell people, they go, Rick, what's the secret to your success? I said, I fail fast. You know, I'm always going to fail, but I fail fast and then I move on to the next thing because I'm never going to get success until I have some failures in my life. I just fail fast. When I first started doing video, I come from a radio background. I was terrible. People were making me use teleprompters, and I looked awkward, very awkward, and I would go, look, guys, here's the deal. I remember the very first program I ever did. I'm sitting down on a chair like this. I have the camera up here, and right behind it, I had a Mac with a teleprompter app. And I had notes over here, and I had notes over there, and even in the picture behind me, you can see the teleprompter going. You know, it was kind of in the background. And I said to everyone, I said, look, here's the deal. I have so much information that I want to share with you. I have never given away this much information for free, and I will forget. So I have a teleprompter over here. I have notes over here. I said, if I'm awkward to look at, close your eyes and love the content. I said, judge me by what I give you and the value I bring to you, not how I look. And I had more comments and more responses of, dude, you are one of the most honest people I've ever met. You're always making fun of yourself. If something's going on that's awkward, talk about it because we see it. Sometimes you guys just pretend we don't see shit. We see it. They see it. You disarm them. Laugh at yourself before they can laugh at you. Go do your first Facebook Live and say, my mentor, Tommy Darker, and Rick Barker said I had to get uncomfortable tonight. Damn them, but I'm here. And I'm talking to you. People will respect honesty.
Rick, let's create a challenge right now. So I want 3 people. Just write in the comments who wants to go live right now. Tag both Rick and myself, and just do whatever. Just go on Facebook Live and say whatever you want. Marta has done this already, and let's see who else is gonna do that. We want 3 brave people to go live right now and say whatever. Just make sure you tag both Rick and myself. I'm gonna share that with everybody else. You're gonna be on the recorded version of this video. We're gonna put you there. So don't be perfectionist.
What we're gonna do right now is tell me who they are, Tommy. copy so we can go there and make sure they don't have it. They need to have somebody, and it'll be us.
Cool. All right. So just post in the comment, post your Facebook page where you're going to go live, or your personal profile if you're going to go live there, and make sure that your post is public.
And you paste it into my Skype chat box so that I can click on it.
Great. So, all right. So let's wait for people to volunteer for that. That's exciting. So who's going to go live? And I have tons of questions to ask you about this, about your brand, your voice. You know what you're going to be sharing. But first of all, let's see who's going to go live. So we've got Marta. Okay, perfect. Okay, Hannah's going to go live. Hannah Rose. So just tag Rick, and for us, just type Musicpreneur Hub. I'm going to post the link for you. .com/.
I'm sitting here waiting for the notification, so I'll know when I've been tagged.
Right, so Ethan, no, you will not live stream later. No, you're gonna live stream right now. Just go there and press that button and do it right now, and then you can live stream again. So Hannah, I've just posted that thingy where you need to tag us. Okay, just let us know so Rick and I can be there. Let's see, waiting for more people. So Hannah's up for it. Ethan is kind of up for it. Let's see who else. Nobody else so far? I mean, come on. We've got 20. Right. We've got 20 people watching right now. Please speak up. Don't be afraid. The only reason why I cannot do it myself right now is because I have the internet connection for your camera, the internet connection for Skype. I don't want to... Okay, you don't see Hannah's link. Hannah, could you please post your link so we can see where you're going to go live? Okay, Hannah is already working on getting it going.
Ask her, is this Hannah Rose Vanden? I call her my 300 points in Scrabble person.
Well, yeah, I think yeah. So this is it, Hannah. Yeah, Vanden Wymel.
Yeah. So she's on her personal page. We need to know. Type me what her.
So Hannah, just make sure you, just make sure you also type your URL. It says remove any web addresses when I'm trying to. Right, okay, so for everybody in the chat, just make sure you copy paste that link, because for whatever reason it's not, if you click on it, it doesn't show you the right page. Just copy paste that. Maybe YouTube is punishing us for not posting a YouTube link. I'm not sure.
Are they trying to go live on YouTube?
No, they're trying. So Hannah's trying to go live on Facebook. Deborah is saying that it's getting a little bit technical at this stage.
Pushing buttons isn't that technical. It's like go live, type, you're live. So yeah, if that's technical, you're in trouble, girl.
Great. Okay, let's see. I hope it doesn't take too much time. Um,
We'll chalk this up as seemed like a good idea at the time.
yeah. This is the moment where we're getting spontaneous. So that's
Now, do you have a Facebook group? Because what they can do is once they go live, they can take that link and post it in the Facebook group and let people see that they went live. But the key too is this, folks, is that go befriend people that are in the live. Let them know when you're going to go live. You guys go on and support each other, and they will never be talking to an empty audience. It's one of the things that we've done in my group is everybody's like, dude, I can't get any Spotify playlist to add my music. I'm like, great. Do you have a Spotify playlist yet? They're like, well, no. I'm like, then make your own. You know, because once again, if 20 of you in this group created a Spotify playlist, and every Monday you added your own music to all 20 of these playlists, the algorithms at Spotify would say, holy crap, Marta's song, we should check it out. She just got added to 20 playlists. They don't know what those playlists are. That's the same thing here with Facebook Lives. As you guys start supporting each other, start helping each other out, say, hey, I'm doing a live at 4 o'clock. Would you come and be on it? Would you share it while it's happening? You know, it's like, so if Tommy's doing a Facebook Live and I'm there, I can hit the share button. Then all my friends will see it, and maybe one of them will join, and it will help the user. So you never have to do a Facebook Live to an empty house if you don't want to, but you got to prepare for it. You got to let people know it's happening and let them do those things. So that's what I would suggest is in the beginning, let's be there for each other. You know, let's just make sure that we're supporting one another, and don't just show up when you need stuff. Let us see that you're also on those things as well. So
right. So the issue here is that people saying in the chat that YouTube doesn't allow them to paste the full address there. It says remove the address before you post that. So I guess we have an issue. So we can get the address.
that's your issue. Yeah, that's a technical issue on your end that you're having. So are you doing this on YouTube, Tommy?
So yeah, that's YouTube, and it has a chat form, and yeah.
That's fine. Well, if she tagged us properly, I would have been notified in my phone that I just got tagged, and then I could have clicked on it and watched it. So that's where, Hannah, if you tag us, then we're able to I'll get a notification in my phone that I've been tagged. I'm in Facebook right now. And then I'm able to click and watch you go live. So let's answer some questions while that's figuring it out. I'll know when it happens because I'll get notified on my phone.
Right. So the last thing that we discussed was about being vulnerable, being real, and sharing the moment, not being a perfectionist. So there were quite a lot of questions about where do you draw the line between your personal life and your personal beliefs that are very personal to you, you know, that where you're very vulnerable and you're sharing it only with the people close to you, and versus being a social brand, being a person that people are paying attention to, an influencer. Where is the line? What do you need to share and what's not?
There is no line. Once you decided to be in the public figure, you have eliminated the opportunity for privacy. You can't be two different people. Right now, if you notice the lawsuits that are going on, is because those guys were two different people. They were the actors that everybody loved over here, and they were the freaking pedophile, horn dog, pervert, manipulative people over here. And that's why some of your favorite actors right now are getting in major crap because of stuff that they did in their quote-unquote personal life. We want to fall in love with people we feel we relate with. Unless your musicianship is it's a character over here, and they never see your face like Sia, or you're wearing a mask like Deadmau5, or you're doing this, you are who you are. I did a whole lesson in my new program just on that. It's talking about your character, your traits, your beliefs. Everything should stem from what your beliefs are. Family, religion, everything. You know, you don't need to go on and talk about religion and all that stuff online all the time. I never recommend that because you'll never win that conversation. But everything you do should be based on your belief system. Who are you as a person? If you are a very happy, outgoing, your music is bubbly, upbeat, not going to have a dark website. You're not going to, share humor that might be a little risque if you're not a risque person, so there is no separation. Too often people will I only share that with my friends. You know what? You want your fans to feel like they are your friends, because ultimately you're going to need your friend to give you money. It's called the music business. And if they feel like you're keeping stuff over here, they're not, the way that things have changed, we can listen to all the music we want for free at any time. We are going to give money to those people we feel we're invested in, and they're invested in us. And the best way to do that is to share baby pictures. The best way to do that is to be vulnerable. The best way to do that is to go online one day and say, you know what, but today I'm having a tough day. We want to invest in people where we feel like they're human too. When they go through the same emotions that we go through. I'll go on some days and I'll say, look guys, today I need you. Because you know what, I'm in a shitty mood. And that's the last thing that I want to portray. So you guys post all the positive stuff, and I'll retweet it today because I'm just not there. And I get more response to that tweet than the one that I'm trying to be so perfect with. Every time I show my vulnerability, I win. Taylor, really good example. So Taylor Swift had a song called Love Story. We shot it in a beautiful castle here in Nashville. She's wearing the beautiful dress that was handmade by Sandy Spica Borchetta, who was the creative director at Big Machine Records. Taylor's wearing a little crown. I mean, this was a video. It was about $90,000 to do this video. So right after that song, we had some off time. We were in between singles. So she decided she wanted to put out there her song called Love Story. Or, I'm Only Me When I'm With You. Well, we had no video on this song. We had no nothing. So she gave us all cameras and said, just go out and shoot random stuff, give it back to me. I'll edit it on my iMovie and we'll put it out. We did not have any footage of her singing this. So the next time we pulled into rehearsal, we had them put that song in the list, and we got some quick video of that. And she's not in show clothes, it's rehearsal clothes. So she's showing things of her popping pimples on the bus, because that's what 17-year-old girls do. She's shooting whipped cream in her mouth. She's in her pajamas. Her and Kelly Pickler are dancing in the kitchen making cookies. We're trying to eat crab, and it's messy, and we're just having this thing. That video got more views than the video the label spent $90,000 on, and they were pissed. And she just smiled. She's like, holy crap, my fans want to see me being me. They want to know that I'm just like them. They want to know that I get pimples. They want to know that I eat the whipped cream out of the can. They want to know that I'm spooning cookie dough ice cream out of a tub. The more they feel they're you, the more they're going to relate with you, the more they're going to support you. So if the biggest star in the world can show pictures of her not looking the best, and she still does it to this day, so can you.
Right. So here's, okay, let me play the devil's advocate. And again, a lot of questions about this. We're talking about Taylor Swift. So whatever she does, she will get attention. So probably there is more attention.
Taylor Swift wasn't always Taylor Swift.
But here's the question.
No, Tommy, no person ever started with a million-person audience. Period. No one. So that's another excuse. Let's mark that into this excuse. Well, I'm not Taylor Swift. Guess what? Taylor wasn't always Taylor Swift. Taylor and I had to beg to get on the damn radio. Taylor and I said this: if we're willing to do what other people won't do, we'll get results that other people won't get. Beyonce wasn't always Beyonce. Jay-Z wasn't always Jay-Z. We all started at zero, just like you people. That is an excuse. So I'm not going to listen to it or accept the question. So next one.
Right, okay. So we have here in the chat, Hannah has tried to go live, but she couldn't tag us. So I guess we're going to get the link later so we can send it over. Okay. So people love what you said. It's a great lesson, this is what they said. So there's a lot of questions about the tone of voice. So there is authentic posting, the vulnerable. So yeah. So we have authentic posting, and then we have professional posting, where you post about your music, where you post about your latest release. And people often see that when they're posting something about themselves, about their cat, about their day, they're getting more engagement. But when they post about their music, hey, new single out, buy this, Kickstarter here, people don't really engage with that. Why is this happening?
Yes, because they're not there yet in the relationship. Okay, it takes a while. I shared this. I was speaking at an event in Houston, and a dad raised his hand and he asked that same exact question. And I said, listen, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, how long have you known about me? He said, we've known about you for 2 years. He says, we follow you on Twitter, we follow you on Facebook. I said, when did you actually purchase one of my programs? And he kind of put his head down. I said, no, don't be embarrassed. He said, took about a year and a half. I said, great. That's how long our relationship took to get us to that next point. So here's the thing. If you are asking people that just met you to watch a video, you're asking for their time. We're not there in our relationship yet for me to give you time. But if you ask me a real simple question like red shoes, blue shoes, I'll click blue, I'll click red. In the beginning, make it real easy for them to interact with you. Also, too, the other thing that I'm trying to share with people on why not to be so, as they say, professional all the time, when we see something that looks so fancy, our mind automatically goes to someone's trying to sell me something. We're not necessarily there yet. You know, if it looks like it's going to take time out of my day to watch your whole entire video, so maybe you give a very funny 30-second, 6-second, you know, the Viners taught us that the attention span of people is about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. So you've got like 6 seconds to get their attention. That's why I say don't sit there on the first part of your Facebook Live and go, all right, so I'm going to wait till some people get here. Next, I'm off to the next thing. Why? Because you just told me there's nothing that's going to be entertaining for me right here. So I'm going to go. And I may not come back. So you better start entertaining me right away. So you want it to look good. So here's what I do now, just so you know, one of my secrets, and I call it a hack, is that instead of just posting a poster of your live show, I'll have my artist do a Facebook Live that says, hey, it's Tommy, so excited to be coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Matter of fact, last time we were there, holy cow, I stayed after and we drank till I think like 3 o'clock. But, you know, Rick's Bar is one of my favorite places to play. Here's why. Can't wait to see you. And we do that for about 35, 45 seconds. As soon as you're done, Facebook gives you the ability to pick a custom image. So then I'll go get the fancy looking show poster, but it will say Rick Barker was live. So Facebook gives me all Rick was live. Let's show it to more people. Then I can take that post and I can go in and I can target people within 50 miles of the venue. But what I like to do is this. A lot of people will say things like, well, I only let it be seen by people who could go to the show. How do you know that I don't have a friend in Pittsburgh and I'm a huge Tommy Darker fan? And if you don't let me know that Tommy's doing a show in Pittsburgh, I can't tell my friends and family to go see my buddy Tommy Darker. So you word it this way. And by the way, if you're not in the area, we're going to go live on Facebook for a couple of the songs because I want you to meet my friends in Pittsburgh. And if you happen to know anybody in the Pittsburgh area that would love to come hang out and vibe on, we would love for you to share this. Okay, so what did you do there? 1, you gave them permission to invite their friends. 2, you promoted the fact that even if you can't be there, I'm going to go live. So maybe now they'll put notifications of, go ahead. If you want to know when I go live, click the notifications in your Facebook. So we're training them to do what it is that we ultimately want them to do at some point. Now, they may or may not do it, but you've got to give the opportunity for one to do it. And then guess what? If 3 people do it next time, those percentages are very high. You guys just look at the number 3 and go, oh, poor me, only 3 people did something. Well, here's the thing. If nobody did it this time and 3 people did it the next time, that's a 300% increase. That's awesome. You know, it's like we're not all of a sudden going to get 1,000 people that are going to do this. You know, when Taylor and I first started, yes, the Taylor Swift, I sat out in front. No shit. We're at the CMA Music Fest. She's sitting at a booth. No one's coming up to meet her. I went and took everybody out of the Carrie Underwood line and said, you are going to want to meet this girl because one day she's going to be famous. And they said, all right, we'll do it. And then they walk over, and the next year she does a 14-hour-long meet and greet. Folks, that can happen for you too if your music's good enough and you put yourself out there. But you're not putting yourself out there. You're making all the excuses on why it won't work instead of saying, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. You know, what do I have to lose? One more person is one more person. One more person could introduce you to somebody who could become your next investor. One more person who loves you and is passionate about you could get you your next $1,000 gig. I mean, one person is a lot. One person is awesome because it all starts with one.
I'm just typing this quote. One person is a lot. One person is awesome.
It all
It
starts with one
all
person.
starts with one person. I love that. I love that. And this is in a way you're summarizing the excuse that most people have that I'm just starting out. You're talking about big superstars. Like, how does this apply to me? One person at a
Don't
time.
compare yourself. It doesn't, because today Taylor doesn't have to follow a lot of people back. You do. Today Taylor doesn't have to show up on social media every day. You do. But I'll tell you what, if Taylor and I were starting together today from ground one, she would be doing exactly what it is I'm telling you to do. Trent Harmon, the American Idol winner. When I met Trent Harmon, this is a real good story, by the way. So when I go into the American Idol, what the social media mentor was my job was to prepare them for what was about to happen. I worked with Big Machine Records. Scott Borchetta was the mentor. So I would show up and talk to the top 24, and I would say, look, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is one of you is going to get a record deal in 9 weeks. The bad news is none of you are prepared for it. And I explained to them why, because this is a television show. And they're going to tell the same story that they feel is popular for television viewing audiences over the next few weeks. I need to teach you how to use social media to tell your own story. So the very last season, we had Dalton Rappattoni, who had all the fangirls, and Mackenzie Board, already over 100,000 Twitter followers, 70,000 Instagram. They had the big numbers. They were active as hell. LaPortia had a good Facebook following. Then there was Trent Harmon. So Trent Harmon comes up. He's from Mississippi. He's the kid who had mono, if you watch the show, and he's the only guy that ever went through the group rounds without a group. He had to compete by himself because he was quarantined. And he comes up to me afterwards, and he's like, Mr. Rick? I'm like, yeah. He goes, whew. He said, I think we got a problem. I said, what's the problem? He goes, I don't have a web page. He said, I think my Instagram's on private. Hold on, let me check. He had his Instagram set to private. He hadn't tweeted. He had 24 followers on his Twitter account and hadn't tweeted in like 3 months. And he didn't have a Facebook fan page. I said, are you willing to do the work? He says, yes, sir, I'm willing to do the work. I said, well, if you take care of the singing part, I'll help you get set up with this other part. Within 9 weeks, this kid went to not having the biggest numbers. He had the most engagement. He went and spent time. He did the very first Facebook Live. When we started the show, there was no Facebook Live. There was only Periscope. Before the show ended, there was Facebook Live. He jumped on. He used all the tools that were available to him. Now, he was competing against and on the same show with people that had a much bigger following, but he was more engaged. He, right before, 2 weeks before the finale, he was in 4th place. And how they factored that was how many votes people were getting online, how much iTunes was selling. So then he goes on and sings See a Chandelier and has an amazing night. And while everybody else was out celebrating that night, he was on Facebook Live thanking the people who voted for him, showing them how to vote. This kid went from nothing to 9 weeks later being named the American Idol winner. So that's proof, and that's why I say to you, don't worry about where everyone else is. Use the tools that you have available. The reason, if we're being completely honest, the reason that most of you aren't having success right now is, one, your music's not good enough yet. And that's why people aren't sharing it with their friends. If you can build an audience and people aren't sharing it, it might be your music right now. So then you focused on your craft. Not everyone's expected to be an amazing songwriter. Some artists and songwriters that I know shouldn't be singing their own demos, but they do. So maybe that's why it doesn't get shared. You know, you need to sit down and have a real understanding of who you are and what your strengths are. You know, and a lot of you, what I would encourage you to do every day is there's an app called Smule, SMULE.com. 54 million active users for about $20 a year, I think. If you go, now here's the trick, go online and sign up as a Smule VIP user, not on the app, because on the app it's like $40, but if you do it online, it's like $20, and you get access to like 300,000 popular music tracks. You get some effects for your voice. You basically have a recording studio in your hand with the most popular songs in the world. So if you say, well, Rick, Tommy, I can't put out music because I can't afford to record. Here's an app for $20 a year. You could record the 10 most popular songs and share them on your social media and on your YouTube and everywhere else. Don't share them on Facebook because Facebook doesn't pay streaming royalties yet, and the publisher sometimes will lock them down. But you have access to a recording studio and a camera to shoot your stuff. It's fantastic. Go check it out. It's the amazing thing. That will help you get better. You know, you don't even have to share it with anyone, but if you go on and do it every day, you're singing every day, you're getting better every day. And then people will start to share your stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating sometimes because when you first start any of my programs, the first video that I have after the welcome video is the mindset video. It's almost like we need to do an exorcism. You know, we need to just bring all of you guys into one room and just get the evil spirits and the trances out of you, because ultimately the only person keeping you back right now is you. It's what's going on in between your ears right now. And that has to stop. And you're making the first step in investing in programs like this, because you're saying to us, look, I understand there's an issue. How do I fix it? You fix it by showing up to work every day. Why do you think Tommy and them have the 100-day challenge? It isn't the 1 day, skip a day, 1 day, skip a day, 1 day, skip a day. We can't create habits if we're skipping days. That's why I did the 30-day challenge, and I found I haven't been able to follow a diet for 30 freaking days. You know, it's like you don't get this body overnight. You get it by not paying attention to it. And if you can see it, it's overweight right now. You know, here it is. It's got work to be done. You know, I could have said I don't want to do a video camera because it puts 10 extra pounds on this body. Screw it. That was the best way for me to get my message across. So I humbled myself, and I went and did it. So start singing every day. In my program, we had 2 30-day challenges. Now we're doing what we call a 14-day sprint. Because it's like, dude, if we can do something for 14 days in a row, then the 15th day gets easier. Then the 16th day gets easier. That's why Tommy and them encourage you. We know, let's say this, we know 99% of you are not going to get through 100 days in a row. We just know that. Why? Because it's hard for us to do that. But what we're teaching you is have that plan. And when you fall off, get right back on. If you miss a day, get back on and start at the 8th day. Don't feel like you have to go back to 1 again. In my opinion, and it might go against what you're saying, start at 8. Then do 9. Life happened on day 10, then I'm going to do day 11. I missed day 10, I'm going to do 11. And then when you get done, you sit back and you go, holy crap, I accomplished 80 days out of the 100. Dude, that's 80%. That's a B. You know, you passed a lot. And then go back and look at the other ones and then try it again and see what happens. You know, it's just keep going over and keep going over, but don't quit. Don't use it as an excuse. If your brain says, holy crap, I've got to start over again, tell your brain to shut the F up and start at 10. Start at day 10. I had problems. I got sick for 3 days. Guess what? When you're sick for 3 days, you don't want to be happy, but if you've done it right, the way I teach, you've already scheduled posts that go out so you can be sick. And guess what? Your fans are still being talked to. Instagram, no, but have somebody that says, hey, will you repost for me on Instagram today? We just got to stop making excuses. That's the one thing. And trust me, guys, I did it too. I'm no different. I'm human. I do it all the time, but I do it less often than most.
Right. So what you're saying is that the formula for success on social media and basically everything is to keep hustling, to
Consistency.
not give
Yeah,
up, being
consistency.
consistent.
Yeah, just be consistent and go that, it's like I had a mentor tell me, and this stuck with me too, because Tommy, you know my background, and those of you that don't know my background, I'm 25 years sober. In 1989, I was strung out on crack cocaine, living homeless on the streets of Los Angeles, and I asked God to let me die because I could not beat this drug. This drug had completely taken a hold of me. And then 15 years later, I launched the biggest fucking star in the world. Okay, so that's why I don't take excuses. If everybody goes, Rick's a dick, no, Rick just doesn't take excuses, because how do I go from that to this? Because one, somebody had a plan for me that I didn't even know existed. I didn't finish high school. 2 weeks ago, I'm teaching at Belmont University in the MBA class, and the first thing I said was, I find this humorous because all I have is a GED. And for those of you in other countries, that's not even a high school. We call it a good enough diploma. It means I did not finish high school. So here I am teaching these people that are paying, they're like in their 60th year, paying all this extra money to learn from me. So if Rick has a different approach than other people, that's why, but it's like every day I show up, every day I roll up my sleeves. When Taylor Swift's dad, and I haven't shared this with a lot of people except folks that are in my world, but I'll share it with you guys. So when Taylor and I first got together, I worked for the record company. I wasn't her manager. The record company had asked the parents, can we want to manage Taylor in the beginning because there's things that we're going to do. There's this thing called the internet and social media that a lot of older managers just didn't quite get yet. It wasn't to their fault. It's just no one was really teaching it. So there was this thing called MySpace. She was very actively involved. We knew we were going to have to move real fast. So I was working for the record company. 6 months after working for the record company, they sent Taylor and said, Rick, teach her radio. Let's go out. She had only really been doing karaoke, so she wasn't an experienced live performer. She was homeschooled, so she didn't have a lot of practice interacting with people outside of her parents and, her close personal friends. So we wanted to teach that. So her and I spent 30 days together, absolutely changed both of our lives. 6 months later, her parents came and said they were supposed to go. They went and interviewed with every management company in Nashville, and all the big managers said no, but it just wasn't working out. Finally, Taylor said, why don't we just ask Ricky? That's what she calls me. She says, him and I are doing it all anyway. So I have zero experience at this time. So when her dad calls and says, what would you say if Taylor said she wants you to be her manager? I said, I would say, no, I'm not qualified. And he says, that's where you're making a big mistake. I go, what do you mean? He says, here's the thing. He says, one, is she trusts you. Two, you believe in her. You're not afraid to not only show her the work that needs to be done, but do the work with her. And three, you are not afraid to ask for help. You are not afraid to say when you don't know something. He says, most people in life think that it's a weakness when you say you don't know. He said, I see that as a strength. He said, and you have that strength. He said, you've been helping so many other people over in this other space that you have the resources to go get help. And I was like, wow. So now whenever I speak at colleges, whenever I speak with anyone, I always say, if you don't know the answer, you're going to cost yourself time and money a lot of times trying to figure it out by your own. Just admit, you know what, I don't know this, and let me go ask for help. And that's why when I started this business, I realized everyone felt they needed a manager. Most don't have enough stuff going on to manage. You think you do, but you don't. One, because you don't know what a manager does. Two, most of you can't afford to pay a manager. You say, well, I'll give you 15% of what I make. Well, if you make zero, your manager makes zero. Most of you aren't making any money. I did a survey recently, and 70% of the folks made less than $5,000. I can't feed my family being your manager if you're only making $5,000 a year. But you needed advice. You needed guidance. What most of you need, and this is what Tommy has brought even better than I have, is structure. See, I'm still kind of a freewheeling spirit. There are people like Tommy. Trust me, Tommy sends me emails with like 15 to 20 freaking bullet points that he expects me to do, and I email him back and go, no, I just want to talk. So Tommy's got everything all structured out. Tommy is the artist. Tommy is anal, just like you guys are. He's structured. He has it all over here. Rick just kind of goes for it. So you know why Tommy and I work well together? Because he can take care of the things that I'm not good at. I can go over here and do the things that he's not good at. So we complement each other well. You need to find someone that complements you. If you're not a structured, organized person, then Tommy is a real good fit for you. And I'm not here trying to sell Tommy's programs, but somebody like Tommy who's structured, it's like a lot of times you guys hang out with the people that are just like you. I do not hire anyone who's just like me. I already have me. I go hire people that will complement what it is that I do. So if you are not good at social media, don't focus on what you're not good at. Focus on what you're great at and hire someone for the things that you're not good at. Get a program. Buy the program. Understand enough of what's going on so you can carry on a conversation and know that you're not getting screwed over or things are happening. But you know what? Bring on an intern. Find someone who wants to be in the music business and give them this line. Here's the line I always use. So I go into these schools, they want to be managers. I tell them there are no jobs for managers. The jobs that are available right now are people who can do digital content, who can create it, post it, and get it out there. Those are the jobs. Those are the jobs that get you on a tour bus right now. Those are the jobs that get you hired by a management company so you can prove your worth to work up into the management company. But when I tell people, I said, look, when I hire someone, I don't want to know what you learned. I want to know what you've done. So if you want, go find an artist that you believe in and run their social media for them. Teach them. If you give me the content, I'll get it posted. Explain what's going on. I've had people, they'll come to me, they'll say, Rick, I just bought your program. I'm like, great, share it with your team. You don't have to buy a copy for everyone. Here, you spend $97, give your people your username and password so they know what's going on. Don't try to do all of this stuff by yourself. You don't have to. When I first started, I was the only guy. I needed to learn WordPress. I needed to build my email list. I needed to know all those things. Why? Because my job was to teach. I can't give you advice and answer questions if I don't know what you're talking about. So yes, I had to spend extra time. But when I needed to go learn this, I bought coaching. Whenever I need to learn anything, one, I'll buy a program. All the people that are out there in my space, I bought their programs. Other people who I love what they do, I buy it and then encourage my people to buy it because I don't have time to go learn the stuff that they know. And if they stop doing it because nobody bought it, then I'm, you know what I mean? I'm stuck trying to figure it out. So really sit down this year, at this time of the year, sit down and say, okay, where am I going to make my smart investments? If you do not have an audience yet, budgeting $5,000 to go record an album is a bad investment. Use that money to go build the audience. And then if you build the audience will fund you going to record. Too often, you guys are spending money on things that you're not there yet in your business. And that's why I created the programs that I created. So I realized people needed advice. They needed guidance. They needed structure. Most people don't even know how to set up their business properly. A lot of you, if you've been putting music out for the last couple of years, might have money that's owed to you that you don't even know that's out there for you because you didn't set your music up properly. You didn't register it properly. You just kind of threw it out there. So what we're trying to do is take these master classes and advise you on areas that you should take a look at. It's like, yes, I'm the social media guy. I'm more than that. I actually manage artists every day. I consult major labels. That just happens to be my niche to get you guys in the door. But when we get on these conversations, and Tommy knows it, it's like I'm pretty much going to kind of go in any direction that I feel, I don't want to say compelled to go because then I'm just being an ass. If I hear people are struggling over here, then we're going to call an audible. That's the same thing you need to do in your business. If you're doing all this stuff over here and no one's responding to it, stop doing it. Go back and figure out, and even sometimes grab a few of your bigger fans and say, you know what, can I ask you guys a personal question? Be honest with me. What am I doing wrong? How do I find more people like you? They'll tell you, people love to be asked their opinion when they're at that point in the relationship with you. So don't ask it in a Facebook Live to everybody. Go message go invite those people to a group that you're just chatting with them and say, look, you guys obviously support me. I need to find about 100 more people like you. Where do we find them? What would you expect from me as an artist? I just recently did a survey that I sent out to my people, and I believed in that survey so much. I said, look, the best way for me to serve you is to know more about you. And if you take 2 minutes to take the survey, then I'm unsubscribing you, because we weren't meant to be together in the first place. And obviously, if you don't have 2 minutes for me, I'm wasting your time, and I never want to waste your time. Everybody's like, dude, you're being. I said, no, I'm being straight up, because you know what? Unsubscribes are your friends. People that you want to find, and it's so cliche, 1,000 true fans. But if you find 1,000 people and you create a $50 buying opportunity, that's $50,000 doing what you love. That's more than a nurse in America. That's more than a school teacher in America. Wherever it is that you are, you're doing what you love, making 50 grand. You guys all think that you need to be selling out stadiums. Let's start by getting 100 true fans, and then we get 200.
Rick, now, so I think
Yeah.
this is the right moment to have a small break for 5 minutes, and then we're going to end up strong with the last part of the masterclass, which is talking about actually targeting fans, the funnel, the journey from getting a stranger to eventually become a super fan and pay for something you're doing, and how to grow this audience.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this
Perfect.
in 5 minutes. We're going to have a short break now, and we're going to cut the sound. See you everybody in 5 minutes. Rick is sharing amazing information, so make sure you tune in. And at the end, you promise to share a story. So, we're waiting for that. I'll see
Yes.
you all in 5 minutes.
Yes, sounds really good. All right. All right.
Okie dokie. So I guess we're live again. Thanks for sticking with us. I mean, why shouldn't you? Come on. You know, Rick is sharing 3 hours of his time talking to you. Why would you not be attending? So, okay, so ready, people are back. That's great. All right. So last part, we've got 40 minutes. So last part, we're going to talk about the funnel. We're going to talk about signups, about targeting fans, how you take a stranger and eventually you turn them step by step into a super fan, into somebody that pays for what you're doing. And Rick is going to talk all about that, how you grow your audience, how you monetize the attention you've earned. So, Rick, want to start with a
Sure.
very open question?
Yeah, and a
It's
lot of this has changed from when I first started doing it 4.5 years ago. So when I first started 4 years ago, and there's still videos out there of me teaching this, we did this thing called 7 free songs. If you remember that, the 7 free songs. You give us your email, we'll send you 7 free songs. That worked really well then because there wasn't streaming. So now people don't really download music anymore to take up space on their phones. They actually stream the music. So now all of you should have your music on Spotify and SoundCloud and places that they can stream it. So that philosophy left. So then everybody was freaking out going, well, then how do we get an email address? And it used to be that the email addresses were the most important thing to get because then you could carry on a different conversation. But unfortunately, no one taught anyone how to do proper email marketing. So we burned through all these email addresses, and all we did was buy from me. All we did was email people when we needed stuff. And then they finally started unsubscribing, or we noticed that our emails weren't getting opened as much as they used to. So, okay, then, Rick, what do? We can't give them downloads anymore to get their email. They unsubscribed from me because I didn't know how to email to them properly. What is it that we're supposed to do? One of the best things that you can have, and the only, outside of your music, the next thing that you should have is your own website. Because you own that. You do not own Spotify, you do not own Reverb Nation, you do not own Facebook, you don't own Twitter. You want to get your website. The other reason why you want to get a website, and it's a website that you can put, and this is going to get technical and don't panic, but there's places that you can learn all about this. You need to be able to put a retargeting pixel inside your website. So whenever someone visits your website, they get a little cookie put on their computer, and now you can talk to them later. And you can, what's called scraping data, you can find out a lot about them without physically having to have their thing. So what you got to do is have something on your website that people want to see. So maybe it's an unreleased video. We don't want to always send them to other places that won't share the data or the information with us. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make in the funnel is we send them to someplace else. We send them, and I don't know that anybody ever understands what a funnel is. So a funnel is shaped like a funnel. So the bigger it is, the wider it is at the top, the more people that come in. As you funnel down, it gets smaller. So basically, we're going to put a whole bunch of people in this, and at the bottom, money's going to drip out. Those are the super fans. We got to get them in first. So what is it we're going to get them in with? What is the ethical bribe? So it may be a video that they haven't seen. Well, if they don't know you yet, then they're not quite ready to go over there. That's why you have to put content out everywhere. The funnel is everywhere. The funnel is Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Skype. I now know who Tommy Darker is. Okay, so then after I get enough of Tommy and I go, dude, I dig this guy. Tommy's going to say something that's going to drive me to another location. So now that I found Tommy, Tommy's going to purposely say something to me. It's like, okay, I just created the funniest behind-the-scenes video. You will not. I'm embarrassed to even tell you that there's a video like this that exists. But if you click here, I'm going to give you access to see that video. Okay. Just the way I worded that, I didn't give too much away. He's embarrassed. He can't even believe he's sharing it. I'm going to click. Okay. So then when he comes over, we can say, look, I didn't want to post this on the front page of the website, But if you would like me to send you access to see it, I've made it private. Just tell me where to do that, and you have a link for an email. Okay, you didn't say give me your email, subscribe to my list, join my newsletter. You got them to think, okay, what is this video that Tommy's talking about? I need to see this video that Tommy's talking about. Great. So then once Tommy sends you that video and he's got your email address, now what you want to do the next day is you want to send him another email and you want to give him something. All right. First off, thank you for not embarrassing me and reposting that video up on your Facebook page. I appreciate that. By the way, I've been in the studio for the last 3 months working on some really cool stuff. I wanted to share this with you. Okay, now you've given them 2 things. You have given them a couple different things now. Okay, then we don't talk to them for a week. Then next week, hey, was on my computer moving some old files around. I see that you watched the video. I saw that, because you can tell when they open your emails. You guys need to become a dork about the data. Once you know that stuff, you know who's opening your videos. You know who did this. Say, you know what? Obviously, you're kind of digging on what's going on over here. I would love to know more about you. Reply back. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, you just asked somebody to talk about themselves. You didn't try to sell them nothing. You didn't give them something else. You told them you appreciate the fact they watched the video, that they saw the song, and now you want to get to know a little bit more about them. And then when they come in and they tell you a little bit more about them, you're going to reply back to that email, and you're going to go, oh man, that's like so cool. You're just going to be a human being. Now that's 2 emails where you've given them things, 2 emails where you showed them that you were very different than all the other artists that are out there, and you didn't have to tell them that. You're showing them that by your actions. Okay? So now you've just done that. So then on the 3rd one, on the 5th email, it's going to come out about a month later. You're going to say, listen, I want to make sure that I'm following you back. You're supporting me on all my socials. What are your socials so that I can follow you back? Or you're going to give them a link to your socials. You're going to start that social network conversation. So now that's the 5th email that you sent them. You've now had a relationship with this person for about a month and a half. And now you're going to start dropping more videos. You're going to start dropping, hey, if I could ask you a favor, I just started my Spotify channel. And I'm trying to really build my subscriber list up. I'd love your support. By now, they're going to help a friend out. The problem with most things, and you've got to structure it. There is no one-size-fits-all model when it comes to being an artist. There is no one-size-fits-all model when it comes to any of this. I'm just honestly making this shit up right now as we're talking, because I'm feeling the vibe of the type of audience that we have here. But it's that same pattern, I think patterns can be duplicated much easier sometimes than systems. It's a pattern of give, love, ask this. A system is give them this song, give them this video. Well, maybe your audience doesn't like videos. Maybe they don't do it this way. So we can't put a system in place for you. So I'm trying to structure patterns, if that makes any sense. And I just really thought about that just now too. It's like, wow, if we keep telling everybody, it's like, that's why when on my survey, I asked 4 questions. I said, which best describes you? Are you a parent or a manager of a young artist? Are you an artist that's under 30? Are you an artist that's over 30? Or are you interested in being in the business? Now, as all 4 of those folks need what it is that I'm offering over here, the communication to get them there is different. The empathy is different. The strategy is different. The pain points are different. The hurts are different. Fans, if you don't be afraid to go research your fans. Don't be afraid to go and see, wow, I just looked at 10 of my fans right now and they're all going through some pretty sad stuff. Maybe I should post a ballad or a slow, thought-provoking song on my social media right now. Wow, the world's in a weird place. There's all this stuff that's going on. Probably not the best time to release your party song. Maybe there's a song that you wrote that you can tell a story about it. It doesn't even necessarily have to be your best song. It's amazing what happens when people are drunk or hurting. They love everything they hear. It's just weird how that happens. It's like, oh my God, dude, that's the best song you ever wrote. And you're like, I was out at tune and half the shit didn't rhyme, but it connected with them for whatever reason. That's how we have to look at our funnels today, is we need to connect as much as we can. Now, what we need to also do, and this is something that is kind of new to me right now, is we always need for there to be an opportunity for people to buy, but we're not pushing the opportunity to buy. And what I mean by that is we are all at different levels. So if you're posting something to Facebook, you don't know if it's Rick, who's been following you for a year, is seeing it, or if it's Tommy, who may have just found you for the first time, who's seeing it. Rick's at that point where he really wants to know more about this because he's there. Tommy's just not quite there yet, but if you don't present that opportunity, you missed a sale. You missed the potential opportunity. And that's why Dawn puts the virtual tip jar in every post. She says, hey, if you want to throw some support, I'd appreciate it. And if you don't, no problem. There's no pressure, but the ability to do it is there. Also, too, is you need to understand what it is that your audience is into, what it is that they like. One of the reasons why I like the pledge music concept so much versus the Kickstarter concept, and I don't have an investment in either one of them, is that pledge is more like a pre-order. Everyone, you hope, is going to ultimately buy your record at some point. So pledge is like your pre-order. So it's also about content. It's giving people access to things. It's one of the things that we did. Now, this is just an example. You don't have to duplicate it, but it's worked really, really well. So what happens is on the singer-songwriter, country, pop, this works really well. Doesn't work as well in the hip-hop or the beats space. But we give what's called work tapes to the fans. We're like, hey, it's just like a guitar vocal or a piano vocal or something cool. It says, hey, I wrote this song today. I wanted you to have it. And you send them an MP3. You give them a link to email to send them an MP3. So you send 4, 5, 6 songs to them. And then you go in and say, listen, you know, over the last month and a half, I've sent you these 6 songs. I get a chance to go in the studio to record 3. What are your 3 favorites? And then let them come back and tell you what their 3 favorites are. And then your correspondence next should be, you know what? It's pretty interesting. Those are kind of my 3 favorites too. Let me ask you this. I've got this artwork. Here's these 3 images that I'm kind of considering right now. What do you think? And they're going to come back and they're going to tell you. And obviously, whichever one they vote for, even if it wasn't the one you wanted, maybe you should look at that because they told you something you didn't know. Is you're able to say, you know what? I love the cover that you guys have picked up. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've used that before, want to share this story. Before even Facebook Live or before YouNow, other live streaming platforms, a friend of mine created a live streaming platform and I tested it. So I was in Belgium with my band in my studio and we had a live performance. And then we had a pop-up just like Be Live and we told people, we're going to pop the names of every song we play for the first time for you. Just make sure you write them down and then vote at the end what your favorite song is. So then you're going to receive a free download of your favorite song, and we're going to announce the most popular song, and we're going to give it away. So
that's engagement.
So we had 200 people, and then we got 50 emails from these people. So this is like 25% of people actually jumped on our mailing list.
What was interesting about that too, and that's strategy, Tommy, and what we did earlier is that we ended up telling these folks that, by the way, what you've become is you guys are actually executive producing this record, and this is what an executive producer does. And we've created these executive producer packets, and what it's going to do is not only are we going to give you first access to the song, we're going to thank you in the liner notes as an executive producer. We're having these cool plaques made. We're having T-shirts made that said I'm an executive producer of Tommy Darker's record, and you create this $100 to $200 opportunity for them, but we're only allowing 100 people, and now you just made $20,000 to fund your record. You know, by letting them feel like they were a part of the process. You didn't try to sell them anything. You made them a part of something. And that's what you guys have to focus on right now. It's going to be really hard. It's hard now, and it's going to get even harder to sell standalone CDs and standalone music. That is going to be the gateway to $20 t-shirts, $10 lithographs, bundle packages. Technology today is making it very easy. That's the marketing piece. Your music has to be the marketing piece, the gateway piece. You need to create experiences that people can experience. We just did this with Trent Harmon. He has been stuck in this contract thing that I'm going to share with you guys in a little bit, but by contract, he was not allowed to put out new music. So he had one single, went top 15. Nothing has come out since then. His fans have been supporting him. He's been playing all this music at his live show. There's no place for them to buy it. He can't just go screw you and put it out because he's in a contract with a major. So what we did is we created a private, exclusive kind of webinar, like what we're doing right now. So I used a company called Zoom, and Zoom allowed me to use my other camera. And what we did is we invited all the songwriters over to my office down in Nashville, and we did a story behind the song, like a songwriter's round. He played all new music, and we charged $100. We only opened it up to 85 people. For that $100, we gave them a video of the performance that was shot from just a normal camera. We pulled the audio and broke it into the 10 songs. So now we sent them the Google Doc, so they got their download of the songs. They got the video, they got the song. We created the set list, and he did lithograph of the set list and signed it. And we took that set list in the picture and made a t-shirt. So they got a t-shirt, the lithograph, the video, all in all, the cost of goods for us, and this is what it cost us to make all this stuff for shipping, delivery, for everything. It's going to be about $20. So basically, he made $80 a ticket. He made about $7,500 that night. He didn't have to leave Nashville. He didn't have to hire a band. He didn't have to pay for a hotel. He didn't have to travel. And these people are asking, when's the next one? He showed them so much and gave them so much, and a lot of it was just the attention. You know, it's like they came out. There were people that were buying tickets for their friends. There were people that were like, don't share this on Facebook. It's exclusive. We'll take some snippets later, but this is for you. You know, it's like, well, we really want to share it with some other people. Well, we'll get something down the road for them. Then we're now able to take that content that we created from this live event, and we're able to sell it later in individual pieces, and it will continue to make money for us. So that's where we have to get now. Is it's not as easy as it used to be. Here, get their email, give them this, get them this, they buy your song on iTunes. It's just not there anymore. I think the whole funnel system, it's all how do you build relationships and making sure that at the various stages of the relationship, there's opportunities for people to buy. Now, what I did in my own program, now, with you guys, just so you know, and those of you that don't know me, is as I create programs and I set up pricing, I do all this with my people. I walk them through the process of what goes through my mind when creating something, when setting the price, with how it's going to be distributed, because I want them to duplicate what it is that I do in the music space. So my music that I create are my programs, are my videos, are my Facebook Lives. My big sells are my coaching, you know, my different programs. But it all starts the same way. I have to find you. I have to show you that I'm legit. I have to make you go, dude, if this is what he's giving away, I can only imagine what's over in his paid program. That takes a lot of work. I have to show up every day hoping to get your attention. I'd have to tweet 40 times hoping that you saw one that inspired you enough to go find out more about Rick Barker. That usually doesn't happen the first time. That's why I'm there on day 2, and that's why I'm there on day 3. That's why I have it set up to where it shows up every day. So I had one of my mentors come to me and he goes, why do you I had a $97 program, which was my lower entry level. For you guys, that would be considered like a download. I had my $497 program, which for you would be considered like your record, your full-length record. He goes, why don't you have a $15,000 or $20,000 program? And honestly, I about shit myself when he said that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Rick, he says, listen, he goes, is what you provide not that much of value? I go, hell no, it's worth more than that. People tell me they learn more from me when they do these colleges. He goes, you need to have something like that available. And I said, look, I'm going to have a hard time going 97, 497, $24,000. He goes, you have to have a $24,000 program. He goes, don't you do consulting? I go, yeah. He goes, how much do they pay? I said, well, the labels pay anywhere from $2,500 a month to $5,000 a month. He goes, well, then you have a $24,000 a year business. I said, yes, but I've never advertised it. And he said, stop it. You're making excuses. Bottom line is this. You must have a Volkswagen available for purchase, and you must have a Mercedes-Benz available for purchase. Give the people the opportunity for these higher priced products, and they want to have access to these higher priced products. I go, I don't think it'll work in music. He goes, trust me. I said, I don't. I said, I just met you. And I paid $500 for a half hour of this guy's time. One is because I wanted to see what I'd get for that, because one day I'd like to charge that. And two, he was very successful in the space that I wanted to be in. So he said, I want you to do a survey. So I did my survey. I threw it out to my audience. I said, listen, every day people are asking me to be their manager. Thank you. I'm flattered. I said, but unfortunately, there's just not enough hours in the day. I said, but what I've decided to do is to interview and take on possibly a small number of you on a more one-on-one type of basis. By the way, it's going to cost a lot of money. We're talking 5 figures. But if you would love to have access to me and everything I know, here's a link to take a survey. I sent that email out, and within the first 45 minutes of this email, I had about 60 people that clicked on that damn survey, and I'm like, holy shit. So I went in and I asked them what they would be willing to spend, what this, most of them, $5,000, $7,500, $10,000, whatever it takes. I ended up creating these programs, and I ended up doing about $180,000 off of 15 people that decided to come in. And I share that not to brag, but I share that with you to say, I would have never offered that kind of opportunity. So then I went to one of the gals who had signed her and her daughter up to get, it was weekly coaching, it was direct, I mean, it was legit. I said, can I ask you a question? I said, you've never spent a dime with me. I have the $97 program you never bought. I got the $500 program you never bought. I said, but I offer a $24,000 program. And how I did that, by the way, you guys, I did a $24,000 program, offered it for $15,000, so I gave a $9,000 discount. So I did what he said. I did offer a $24,000 program, but I realized through my own research about what the number was. I offered it for $15,000, and I broke it up into 2 payments. They paid $7,500 now, and 6 months later, they paid the remaining $7,500. That worked with the research that I had done, but I created what he said, the $24,000 program. So as I'm talking with her, I said, but you just bought my most expensive program and you've never spent any money with me before. She said, Rick, she says, we knew that we wouldn't really do the work. You know, we knew that as we're not going to sit down and watch modules and follow this kind of instruction, but we take coaching really well. Our daughter is also a world-class athlete, and we know the advantage of hiring a personal trainer and a specific coach to help move us through. We take instruction better than we sit down and just do this. She said, we've been waiting for you to offer this kind of access. That's what your fans are waiting for. And when you offer that kind of access, don't try to make it available for everyone, or it's not special. You may want to put one aside. What Trent did on this is because Trent's frugal as hell. He makes his mama pay for tickets and his grandmama pay for tickets. He's that kind of artist. He bought a ticket for $100. I went back to him. I'm looking at the Eventbrite, and I'm like, dude, did you just spend $100 on your own show? He says, well, I bought a ticket because I'm going to run a contest, and I'm going to let people nominate someone they feel that couldn't afford to come to be able to come. So didn't open it up for everyone because it has to be special. There has to be value on it. We can't be embarrassed or afraid that we're going to alienate people because we make something available for those people that can afford it. As long as you have something down here that they can have, you just can't go to the private golf course and golf there just because you know how to golf. There's membership has its privileges. You have to start creating some exclusivity, and you're like, Well, Rick, that's kind of counterproductive because if I'm out there all the time doing all this other stuff, and then you're telling me to make it over here, be exclusive, you don't have to do everything over. All you're doing with your engagement is you're loving on people enough to where they want to come spend extra time with you. So do 2 songs, and in this one do 20. Do 3 songs, and in this one do 11. But you have to earn their trust, their interest, and that's where I think we make the mistake. So if all we're ever doing is just promoting all the time, I really don't get to know who you are. So that's why I say be vulnerable. That's why I say be open. That's why I say don't be afraid to let people see you with your hair down. You know, I don't want to hang around with a know-it-all. I don't want to hang around with perfect people because that's not who I am. I want to hang out with people that I feel I relate to. So you need to go find these people, engage them, and the rest will take care of itself. But as the business changes and the CDs aren't available and the streaming is free, pay for the hang. That's what's going to be there. That exclusive stuff, that bundle of stuff is what's going to make all the difference in your music career moving forward, in my opinion.
Rick, what you've just said, it needs to be transcribed, it needs to be copied, pasted, and be taught in universities all over the world. Like you basically summed up in 15, 20 minutes the whole process of creating a career.
Good. Well, there's this thing called Temi. We can send it to them and they'll transcribe it for 10 cents a minute. So when I get to see the video of this, we'll transcribe it.
Well, you're going to send me the link for that because definitely we want to make sure.
What I just shared with you, I've never shared anywhere before because that's why I don't create. Now you know why I don't create slides, why I don't create PowerPoints. Because for me, I did radio for 15 years. When I'm talking, my brain works different. It's like Scott Borchetta's funny. I asked him. I said, he called me one time. He goes, "I need you to go get on my plane." He's got a private plane. He goes, "I need you to go get on my plane. You're going down to Florida, and you're going to come back and tell me why Thomas Rhett isn't selling more merch." And I said, "What am I looking for?" He goes, "I don't want to tell you what you're looking for because you seem to see shit that nobody else sees. Just go down there, come back, and tell me what's up." My brain is wired different, and it's like that's why I love to get conversations with people. That's why it's like as we do this, I'm sitting there thinking, going, "Wow, the business has changed. So what do we do?" So that has never been shared before anywhere. You will not find a video of that. So you got it. And I'm glad we had this conversation because now I'm going to be able to go back and say, "Hey, this weekend when I was doing this masterclass, this is what we need to focus on." And that's why you guys need to get in conversations with your fans. They will ultimately tell you what they need to be sold and what they're looking for.
Right, so essentially what you're saying is that the musician now doesn't really sell the music itself, they sell their relationship. And the music is the way to draw people in.
Correct. That's what I feel. I mean, because right now when people are consuming music, people are consuming concert tickets. They're not paying for it as much, but they're paying for the concert tickets. And that's what I always tell people. Don't be so caught up in a 99-cent download. T-shirts cost $5. You sell it for $10. You made $5 for that song. Bought them that T-shirt. You know what I mean? It's like so. Yeah. I mean, that's how I think we are. I think the music is the first thing that gets you in. The ability to share your music has never been easier. The social media platforms play really well with Spotify and SoundCloud, but make sure your website's set up properly to capture information because unfortunately those other places don't share that data with you. Don't necessarily send people from your website to iTunes. Send them an email with an iTunes link because iTunes isn't going to go, "Hey, Rick, by the way, Tommy Darker just bought your record. He absolutely loves your stuff. Here's his contact information. You should now go build a relationship with Tommy Darker." No, what they're going to say is, "Hey, Tommy Darker, you just bought Rick Barker's album. You might like this guy's album. And then you might like this guy's album." So now, poor Rick, who spent all the money to get Tommy to go to iTunes to buy this record, is now out of the economy. Now you and iTunes are having all this money conversations going on. I'm like, wait a minute, we're the only industry. Here's how stupid we are. We'll spend $1 million to find you, to buy our record, and then have to go spend $1 million to track your ass down again the second time we release a record. How stupid is that? Instead, we should be driving everybody to where we control the conversation. But we
Right.
don't. I can't fix everything.
Right, and exactly that's what we're doing. We're sending them to other platforms where they're controlling their relationships. They send them to other artists because they benefit this way, and then we pay them money again to promote us. So we're
Yes,
hurting ourselves double.
we are, but it's because we don't know any better, and most people aren't willing to make changes. So my whole thing, it's like when you go to my website, I have one goal: is to get your email address. So what do? I offer you my book. And then I have a video that says what I believe. I think right now that people are lazy. They hear with their eyes. I think when people come to your website, they need to right away know who you are and what you stand for, and let them make that decision if they want to carry on that conversation. And I'm working on some things right now that will be tested, and as they become available, I'll share them. I just don't throw shit out there. I get an idea, and then I like to go test the idea. And then I like to come back and say, okay, I tested this, and this is what we got. Now let's try it. And one of the things that I'm doing right now for myself is I have said this. So I said, if I'm going to spend money on Facebook advertising, which by the way, Chris Greenwood, I don't know if you know Chris. He goes by Manifest, dear friend of mine, brilliant. He just put a program into my program. So what I did was, and this is by how I collaborate, you guys can learn a lot about this. So what I did is I went to a bunch of my buddies who are in the teaching space, and I said, listen, I would love to put a portion or some of your stuff in my program, and in return, I'm just going to drive people to you, and I don't want an affiliate for it. I just feel they came in, they got rewarded. This is our gift to your funnel, however that is. So I had Graham Cochran from the Recording Revolution gave me 6 videos on how to record a song from scratch. People loved it. I had Chris Greenwood gave me his program called the Facebook Accelerator, and he taught people how to get their first 10,000 fans in 10 days with less than $100 budget. So all of a sudden, my beta testers put this shit to the test. And they're sending screenshots freaked out. And I'm sending it to him going, dude, use this in your advertising. There's so many different cool things that are out there. Don't be afraid. Those people, so what I did was I said, so I made them affiliates for my program. And I said, how much money would I spend on Facebook Live trying to find people that take voice lessons? How much money would I spend on Facebook Live or Facebook ads trying to find people that take guitar lessons? So instead, I just went to these guitar instructors, let them become part of my program. Now they're promoting my program to their people, and I'm paying them handsomely to do that, but I've already bypassed the Facebook machine. Now I've already get there. So these people I'm getting their emails because I'm providing a service. So I went on CD Baby, and I said, hey, I just spoke at your event. What if I go on and do a live Q&A for an hour and a half on your Facebook page? They're like, please. I had a reach of 150,000 people. I could then offer, hey, if you want a free copy of my book, here's my email address. They come. I mean, it's just, there's so many ways that we can get ourselves out there. Go find a brand that is in relation to you that doesn't understand the power of Facebook Live, because Facebook Live, and go on there and say, hey, what if I did a little afternoon concert when I played 15, 20 minutes, entertained your Facebook page? They'd be like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that? Look at that as a venue, folks. If that Facebook page, I always say this, Forever 21 has 12 million people on their Facebook page, and when they post something, it gets like 26 people engage it because it's the same damn advertisement that's in their book. But imagine if a young, pretty artist was on there singing songs, and they get more exposure. So you've got to think differently than everyone else. Don't go ask every Spotify playlist to put you on there. Don't go ask every radio station to play you. Go find places that not everyone's knocking on their door and say, listen, would you allow me the opportunity to come in and do this? So.
Well, I want to see some digital claps. People are saying, whoa, 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 gold, pure gold, amazing. I'm going to put this to the test right now. Consensus in the chat right now. I'm going to post the last quote, and then I'm going to give people the opportunity to ask one last question. So the last quote I'm going to post is...
I'll tell you the story real quick about the contracts. Let's be careful.
Okay, you can tell the story I'm going to post on the chat so we can
Okay.
see if we can wrap up.
So when you go apply for these contests, you basically, once you get to like the top 24, you're signing everything over to them. Now, a lot of the contracts are written very beneficial to the artist financially. So what I was having a problem understanding was I was like, okay, why is it that every time the American Idol contestant releases their record, they were getting dropped by their manager and dropped by the record company? Well, I found out why. So when I got invited, when Trent's management company went bankrupt, I came in. I was the first person able to pull back the curtain and see exactly what was going on. So what was happening was that there were these major advances that were being given. What you need to understand is that an advance is a loan, and it's a loan that needs to be paid back. And if you aren't making enough money through your record sales to pay back that loan, they start looking and going, man, is it really worth it to be in business with this person? So the advice that I'm going to give you is this: just because somebody offers you money in an advance, if you do not need it, don't take it. Okay? Trent came and he's like, man, I didn't need that money. I would have never taken it. I would have never done this. And it's just, it was big abundances. Also, too, make sure that the portion that he was getting, there was more being given, and then another company was getting that. So make sure you look at what you are responsible for paying back. It's called recoupment. Find out what your recoupable expenses are, and if you don't need them, and you feel it's going to take you a while to sell records, don't take the advances, because it will go against you immediately, and it will be grand opening and grand closing. So I just wanted to share that information. If you don't need the money, don't take it.
Great. Okay, so let's see if there is any last questions. I'm gonna post it again on the chat because I think what we have right now, it's 3 hours of pure gold, as people said. But any last questions? I think we're ending. You know, we need to end in a positive note and to get some last drops of wisdom. I'm gonna try to see if people want to squeeze that. Any last questions? Just post it in the chat. Personally, I would like to thank you for sharing all these things. And you know, it's impressive that you have much more to share, and you have your own programs, and you consult people, you take part in competitions, you're doing amazing things. And for me, all of these things that you've learned, because they don't come from a book, they come from your personal experience of going out there, hustling and getting shit done and failing. So my takeaway is, people in the chat, people watching this, people taking part in the programs, don't use any excuses, because Rick will find a way to destroy your PT excuse and get you back on track. So just go out there and do what you have to do.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's like I always tell people this is it's like, you know, when I spoke at the CD Baby conference, I went out, I said, look, I said, the worst thing that could happen is you show up here next year in the same exact place that you are right now. And it's so noisy and crowded out there. For the lazy people, I just want them to quit now and to get out of my way, because they're cluttering things up, you know? So it's like, you know, you got to reevaluate why it is that you're doing this. I always say, go find a hungry audience and feed them. Not everyone is going to like our stuff. Not everyone's going to like me. Some people don't like being told brutally honest things. They like people to blow smoke up their ass. I'm just not that guy. You know, I tell people all the time when they come into my world is that, look, I'm going to give way more than you've paid for. That's just who I am, but I'm not going to take any excuses. You know, it's like I'm a solutions person. I tell my son one time, he asked me, he's like, Dad, what do you do? I said, son, I don't know. I said, I just kind of solve people's problems, usually for $150, $200, but I do it for thousands of people at a time. I always wanted to be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. It's funny that you said GSD, because on my business card it says Rick, you know, there's PhDs, MDs. Mine says Rick Barker, GSD. I have a degree in getting shit done. That's why people come to me. I got a reputation of being a finisher. You know, there's a lot of people that can talk about what they should and shouldn't be doing, and there's certain people that go, I just got to be that guy, and that's what I encourage you to do. It's like, just be prepared for whatever opportunity comes your way. Reevaluate what success means to you. Don't say I'm only successful if I make it on TV. No, most of them aren't successful either. If you really want to pull back the curtain and see who's broke and who's unhappy and who's not getting to tour and who's not getting to create music when they want. Those people in contracts right now are employees. You want to remain a business owner for as long as you possibly can, because when you're a business owner that's got a successful business, then you become a partner. You're not an employee. And partners have better decision-making processes. So the labels used to take you from the top or the bottom to the top. Now they expect you to come in the middle. What my job is to cover the bottom part and to help you prepare yourself and get you everything that you need, the toolbox loaded, so that when you show up, you can do whatever's meant for you to do. So that's why we do these things. That's why I'll spend 3 hours on a Saturday, doing this. I can talk about this business forever, as you guys have seen. It's funny when people come up and say, can you talk for like 30, 45 minutes? Are you okay with that? I'm like, sure.
I could talk for 35 days.
On weekends myself, because I am just so passionate about this business, and I love watching the light bulb come on with people. I fry people's brains. Know this, guys, you're going to leave this thing today, and I'm going to be in your head, and I apologize for that, for like the next couple of days. You're going to think of something, and you're going to be like, okay, what would Rick do? What would Rick say? I have that effect on people. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but I just here's the thing. I can change millions of lives by your music, by teaching you how to get it in front of people, and I never had to write a note or sing a song. Think about the amount of people that Taylor Swift's music has affected. I played a small part in that. Think about the music that you're going to write that's going to change the world. I want to feel like I played a small part in that. Tommy wants to feel like he played a small part in that. That's why I do what I do. I can't sing for shit, but you know what? The music that I've watched you create, I always tell people, you go make it, I'll teach you how to get rid of it.
Great. So we have the last few comments. People are laughing with a GSD. So in general, you have somebody congratulating you as well for 25 years of being sober.
Thank you.
So yeah, the last few comments are by Marta, Deborah, Sebastian, Emily, Ira. There was more.
I got time. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm fine. So ask these questions. I'll answer.
No. These are thank yous and yeah,
Okay.
thanking you for
questions?
the amazing.
Anybody have anything they want to know?
So I think we've covered already everything that has been asked, which is
Okay,
great. So I would like to thank you.
This is their time. They paid for it. I want to make sure they get what they want.
So I think this is more what they've paid for. They got so much more value out of this. So in general, I'll try to connect you with these people as well, so they can see how they can work with you as well. We'll do our best.
If they want a free copy of the book, they can just go to rickbarker.com. It all starts there.
So I want you to also send me the books, the link, so I can send it to them. So in general, if you want to get in touch with Rick, he's a straightforward person. Just make sure you talk with him directly. If you don't mind, I'll share the email as well, or the website. And thank you for being here today. Rick shared for 3 hours everything that you asked for, everything that you, every question that you submitted, every question you asked here in the chat. I would like to thank you for being here, which means that you want to do stuff, you want to get shit done, and you're here because you want to change your career and other people's lives. So we're going to be in touch for the 100 days. You're going to be a part of this, and we don't accept any excuses. Thank you, Rick. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody in the chat for being here and for sticking with us for 3 hours. And Rick, we'll speak soon about everything.
Yes, we will.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody.